Hello and welcome to a very special anniversary watch-along of WCW Mayhem 2000. It is the 20-year anniversary of this show today, so thought we'd give it a watch-along and see what we think. But I'm not alone. This wasn't even actually my idea. I tend to do WWF watch-alongs, but I've no idea why I don't do WCW. This was actually my co-host's idea, so everyone welcome Rhys.
Yo, what's going on? I think we did this last month. Unfortunately, it didn't go quite to plan, but I think we had so much fun that we just had to do it again.
Yeah, so basically what happened last month, we did Halloween Havoc, and we had a lot of fun. It was real, like, genuinely some of the most fun I've had certainly for this channel, but just overall for a video at all. Like, it was just a lot of fun. We had such a laugh partially at WCW's expense, partially along with WCW. Like, we enjoyed it unironically a lot more than we thought we would, I think. So, you know, we had to come back and do it again. But unfortunately, Rhys's audio, I managed not to capture it at all. So it was unusable, basically, because it was just me talking to a silent person. So it wasn't usable. But this time, we've got it set up correctly, and we're going to have a great time watching Mayhem.
Yeah, I can't wait. I think the last show was so much better than I expected it to be. That this show, then, I'm kind of looking forward to see what happens. I've got no idea what the card or anything is, by the way.
Oh, you didn't look it up this time. So last time Rhys looked up the card, and I just went in completely blind. So this time we're both going in completely blind. So this should be really fun. Trying to piece together what WCW have done since the last show, because it's just it. I've watched this through like a few years ago on the network, and it's so all over the place. It's going to be a lot of fun. But if you guys want to watch along with us, we should get the show on the road. What you need to do is go to your WWE network, get to WCW Mayhem 2000, and then load it up, pause it at the complete start of the show, 000000, and then, we're going to synchronize pressing play, basically. So me, Rhys, and yourselves watching will synchronize pressing play, and you can watch along with us and hear our thoughts. I should mention as well, last time the thing that did work was the review on Rhys's channel. So we did a review of Halloween Havoc over there, so if you're interested in checking that out, feel free. And we are going to be doing a review of Mayhem over on Rhys's channel again, so his links will be in the description. Go and check him out once you're done here, and check out what we thought of the show in review form. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think you pretty much got everything there.
Awesome. So I stalled for time. Everyone's had time to get onto the WWE network and get the show open. If not, pause this video, get yourself set up, and then unpause, and we'll be ready to go. So I'm going to do a countdown. 3, 2, 1, and then you're going to hear like a tap. That's going to be me pressing play. And then hopefully Rhys will be roughly in time with me and everyone else as well. So without further ado, let's get ready to play. So, are you ready, Rhys?
I'm ready.
Wonderful. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Right, so I am on 1 second. That really stalled for me. 3, 4, 5. Are you about the same?
Yeah.
Okay. If it's more than a second out, it might cause an issue, but it's quite a lot of leeway.
I think it's like a second exactly.
Okay. Booker T's here.
Oh, everyone wants his autograph.
Yeah, look at all these legitimate fans that are in no way stooges or paid actors or or relatives of wrestlers or whatever.
I mean, to be fair, if I saw Booker T, I'd probably have the same reaction as this lot here.
Yeah, like, but what are they just doing backstage? Who's just allowed them backstage?
Meanwhile, no one's chasing Steiner.
Well, he's got a lead pipe, would you? Oh. I mean, I personally would go over to Steiner, but, I'm just a massive Steiner mark, so... Oh!
Well,
I love Scott Steiner. Yeah, I do remember one detail about this show, and that is, we're looking at it right now, that cage, that is for Booker T and Steiner. So, it's a cage match.
Wait, that's not a triple cage, is it?
No, it's a straight jacket cage match. I think there was a straight... I can't remember exactly, I think Tony Schiavone's explaining it right now, but whatever. Shut up, Tony. I think there's a straitjacket like attached to the cage, and whoever gets it down first or unhooks it or whatever can put their opponent in it and beat the hell out of them. Yeah, it's a straitjacket steel cage match. You know, quite a common match type. I can't wait. 2000 and 2001 WCW is just the best purely because Scott Steiner is the main event, and just I love just the feel. It's like that feeling that live TV is supposed to give you of what the hell is going to happen. Like Scott Steiner is the epitome of that.
Yeah, I've got to wonder, like, how much of Scott Steiner do you think was planned, and how much was just him doing stuff?
I feel like if WCW writers or bookers or whatever they were calling themselves that week had any sense in the world, they just said, here's a microphone, you know you're fighting Booker T, go do something. Like, because that's the recipe for success, in my opinion. Like, just let him go ham. I don't know how much was planned. I like it that way, to be honest. I like sometimes not knowing with wrestling, because the general rule that I always follow is, hey, if it made it to TV, it was planned. You know, like, but that's from watching, like, WWE, where they run such a tight ship. When you're watching WCW, you're actually not sure if that rule applies. And that's kind of part of the fun of it for me.
Yeah.
Just, the lecture cameramen are out as usual. Found some women in the front row already. I don't know if you noticed this, they always do this on WCW shows. They just, like, the cameramen just each obsess over, like, 1 or 2 women in the front row. Look at Flair with the spiky hair.
I think that was the big thing at the time, wasn't it? Everyone
Yeah.
spiked up.
Even Flair was jumping on in it, though. That was my early high school haircut, for sure, yeah. But even Ric Flair jumping on it, crazy.
You know, he's been playing with, I don't know what it's called, like that ball with electric in it, where you touch it and it goes to your hand, and then...
You have no idea how many times I heard that joke in my early teens.
Oh, this guy's got it as well.
Oh my god, wow. So this is Pee-wee, was his name, I'm pretty sure? Or Pee-wee. Kiwi? I can't remember, it was something like that, Creewy? Creewy, there we go, I was right in the end. With Paisley, now is this pre-Paisley and Prince Iakea? Or did she move from Creewy to Prince Iakea? Because if you remember, Prince Iakea used to be running that sort of Islander gimmick, and then suddenly became a Prince knockoff, became the artist formerly known as Prince Iakea.
I've got no idea who either of these people are.
Oh, fair enough, right. I think Paisley used to be a Nitro girl, and then became like a valet, but I think she first became a valet when Prince Iakea did his Prince gimmick, so I assume she moved from him to Creewy. And based on the fact that he's fighting Mike Sanders, I assume Creewy's a face here, which is...
Oh yeah, we saw this guy last month.
Yeah, he didn't scream babyface to me on the entrance, to be honest. He looked a bit arrogant, but this looks more arrogant. He's doing that thing. Have you ever noticed wrestlers, when they're arrogant heels, they push the jaw forward as far as they can? Like, it's weird. You just push the bottom half of your jaw forwards, and it makes you look arrogant and full of yourself. Is Goldberg face again, then? What's happening? Or is Goldberg just in that phase where he just doesn't care who he's spearing and jackhammering?
I guess so. That's the best Goldberg, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't even know you anymore. So did these two used to be associated? Because we watched the last show. I don't remember Creewy being a member of Mike Sanders' group.
No, he wasn't.
Like the Natural Born Thrillers. I don't recognise him, even with, like, trying to picture him with, like, different hair or whatever.
You see, what's his name? The commentator, Mark
Madden.
Mark Madden, yeah. Shivani just goes, Creewy here. And Madden goes, who?
Oh, out you go. So, WCW revered for its Cruiserweight division, but I don't think people, when they talk about that, talk about Creewy versus Mike Sanders. Feel like it's more, you know, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, and Dean Malenko, and that kind of group, and Psychosis and Hoovy.
Well, yeah, you say that, but this is still like 100 times better than Oklahoma and Medusa.
God. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, Medusa's fine, but just that match with Oklahoma.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Anything with Oklahoma, to be honest, was not good. So, I always wonder, what's your theory, kayfabe-wise? Okay, yeah, ref didn't notice that. Okay, cool. So, kayfabe-wise, how do they pre-arrange when you're going to come down? Like, oh yeah, at some point, he's probably going to get the upper hand and knock me out of the ring. That's when you guys come down. Or do they all think, okay, now would be a good time to go and help him, I guess? Like, what do you think? What's within kayfabe? Obviously, we know within, like, the realms of, like, how wrestling actually works, it's pre-arranged. But within kayfabe, how would you say interference works? Do they know in advance when they're going to come down?
Oh,
yeah, that was nice.
That's a good question.
That was a really nice triple team.
I guess they probably just had enough and were like, screw this, let's go and do something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good move. I've not seen anything like that before.
No, we saw them do that over the top rope toss. Oh, wait, has she changed her hair to look like Haku's, aka Meng? But, okay, interesting. Okay, so this is a team and a half, Creewy and Meng. Like, Haku in the
Meng's just battering everyone.
Well, I mean, this is how it would go if it was a shoot fight, to be honest. He would just, oh no, they're getting the upper hand now. He would legitimately win this shoot fight. Like, Haku is legendary for how tough he is. Like, shoot tough. But, yeah, I love the questions of, like, when you start a question with, in kayfabe, you know, and you try and explain some of the stuff that happens in wrestling, it's much more fun than discussing what's actually happening behind the scenes. Because some of it, when you start thinking about it, makes no sense. Like, one of my favourite conversations about it was John Cena's United States Heavyweight Open Challenge. They were like, what, do you just rush to gorilla position and then form an orderly queue, and the first one gets to go out? Or, like, are people brawling behind the curtain, like, and someone just runs out? Like, hey, hit my music, I'm still standing. Like, what's the protocol? Because it's highly unlikely only one person wants the shot each week.
And, there was something similar to that as well, when we say, when there's like a shock return or something, like, how do the production people know to play the music?
Yeah, exactly. Do they just quickly run into the production truck and go, hey, hit my music in 30 seconds? And you have to quickly scramble through the list of MP3s and be like, oh, where's Edge's music? He didn't tell us he was coming back. Yeah, it's like, it is a funny situation. Or are the only people that aren't told the wrestlers? That's why they look so surprised. Like, I don't know. It's fun thinking within kayfabe, though. Like, how stuff works. If wrestling were real, how would that work?
I guess, like, I don't know if you've ever, like, been into one of these buildings or something where you have to swipe your ID cards, but maybe it's linked somehow that you have to, like, swipe your ID card to be allowed out on the stage, and then it...
maybe. And it plays your music.
Yeah,
so,
maybe.
somewhere I used to work legitimately had a thumb scanner as a clock in and out thing. So if they had that, then it could play your music. Yeah, there you go. We've solved it. That's... I don't know how many people would have to know, though? Obviously, I mean, who, within kayfabe, is it Vince McMahon who decides who's in the Royal Rumble? Still, within kayfabe? I think it must be, right? So Edge must have at least let Vince know.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But then who else would need to know? No one, I guess, if you've got a thumb scanner to play your music for you.
Yeah, but how would he get on the card if he wasn't already signed?
Oh, yeah, the head of talent relations would have to sign him. Vince doesn't... Well, I suppose in a special occasion like that, Vince could manually sign the contract himself and, keep it top secret. But, yeah, it's fun to talk about, but I think we've missed Haku and everyone else being booted out. Paisley's hair has been allowed to stay, which is wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure, like...
She didn't have the afro first time, did she, when they came out?
Wait, who now?
She didn't have the afro when she came out with Creewy, did she? I'm not just imagining that. Maybe I imagined it. I thought she didn't have an afro, and then when she came back out with Meng, she had an afro to represent his. But maybe I'm just imagining that. Go on, what was you going to ask?
Oh, well, I thought they were two different people. I didn't realise that was the same person.
Okay, so the hair was definitely different, because it's the same person. It's still Paisley.
Yeah, it was the same. She didn't have that hair the first time, I'm sure.
Okay, good. I'm glad I didn't just imagine that. What are we supposed to believe has happened there? While she was fetching Meng, hair and makeup just got hold of her and gave her a quick afro. Like, is that what we're
There's like
supposed
a
to...
science exposition going on in the background, and that's why everyone's hair is sticking up. They've been touching that electric thing.
Well, she went overboard with it. Every single hair is pointing in all different directions.
They're having a big party backstage and just rubbing balloons everywhere.
Creewy getting fired up here. I don't think I've ever seen more telegraphed 10 punches hitting someone on the back than that. Like, normally at least looks like a punch to the head.
Did Creewy ever wrestle under a different name? Like, I've never even like heard of him, or
not that I remember.
I can't say I recognise him either.
You see, Mike Sanders, I think his first name's Mike Sanders. We'll just call him Sanders. He did say something like, "What, you just like this, so I don't know you anymore." So I feel like he must have had a different name and been associated with Mike Sanders. I'm gonna have a quick Google now. Creewy. So he's Alan Funk. I knew that. I remember that. His real name.
What's his name? Keith Lee.
Keith Lee. Yeah. No, Alan Funk. So.
They're like Terry Funk's son.
He just debuted as Alan Funk as his real name, and then he teamed with Mike Sanders as the Reinforcers. I guess they were trying to do the revival thing, but with two much worse wrestlers. Why is she not getting disqualified here? Why is the referee just allowing that to happen?
No, it must be a different person, because she didn't have.
No, it's legit. It's the same person. I don't believe Paisley was a twin.
Well, maybe it was a wig then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's what I was getting at. Is it was definitely a wig, but so yeah, he did team with Mike Sanders, and then went away and came back with a new gimmick. And WCW, being the work shoot that it was in 2000, we're just playing off that, I guess.
So it's Mike Sanders. Oh, I want to see what players got to say.
Yeah, let's listen to this. Are we gonna get a mean Wu Gene? Oh no. Huh.
What's this? A Royal Rumble?
Hey?
No one's allowed on the floor. It's a Royal Rumble. Is he in charge now or something?
Yeah, he's the CEO, I think he introduced him as, of WCW. I'm really disappointed we didn't get a mean Woo Gene. Okay, this is a excellent team right here, this team of four. So they're called Chronic, so the only association I can make with their gimmick to I love that. That's amazing. Disco and Alex Wright are like planning on ripping off Chronic, but they get the money out and put it in an envelope in Alex Wright's jacket just in case they get called out on it. But yeah, Chronic, I never understood why they were called Chronic. We talked about this last time. But I guess I've just figured it out. It's what they spend the money on. Like, that's why they take all these hired hits, so they can smoke the money. Look at baby Jamie Noble.
Yeah, man. So this was before. Wait, what did he say about Free Count and Young Dragons? I thought these guys were in Free Count and Young Dragons.
Yeah, no, they broke out of 3 Count and Young Dragons, so it's, I'm guessing, a triple threat tag match here.
These
Evan
guys are
Courageous.
friends.
Just what? What was
This
that
is like
promo?
me when I find another Welsh person.
Hopefully he doesn't talk like Evan Courageous. I just Jamie Noble was always great with the comedic timing.
There's so much good. This is like an episode of Raw. Well, not even Raw. It's just like a TV episode. There's so much going on.
This is like it's like watching an episode, not an episode of Raw. It's like watching like segment 1 from 1 week of Raw, then segment 2 from the next week, then segment 3 from the week after. Like none of it has any continuity at all. It's just all over the place. Like Crowbar, wasn't he on last month's show as the maniac with the crowbar, and now he's super smooth ladies man. Where did that come from?
We like them Backstreet Boys.
Check out Shane Helms.
My favourite thing about that song is it's supposed to be Freak Out singing it, but if you listen, it's so obviously Jimmy Hart singing.
Is it?
It's like, once I say that now, when you go back and listen back to it, it just sounds like Jimmy Hart when he's talking.
Yeah. I remember Jimmy Hart used to do a lot of music.
Like it.
Yeah.
Well, he was like the Jim Johnson of WCW, wasn't he?
Yeah, he used to do a lot of
for a period at least.
Yeah, definitely. And he used to to quote the Little Britain sketch, he used to write the theme tune, sing the theme tune, he used to do all sorts, yeah.
I've known that for years.
Yeah, me neither, thankfully. More fun to quote than watch, I found.
And like a Freak Out theme, which I hear on like a daily basis still.
Can't figure if you're joking or not. I have a Freak Out shirt.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Gregory Helms.
Yes.
Shane Helms sells them on his Pro Wrestling tees.
#1 hit single right here.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm getting one of them. No count.
Because you hear it just sounds like Jimmy Hart.
I like how they're not even trying to mime properly. It just adds to it for me.
Yeah.
Like, he's sort of thinking about having the mic near his face, but not singing the words at all. It's genius. Isn't he the super tattooed mohawk guy from TNA?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, what a difference he had in terms of like a look. And that's Jimmy Wang Yang.
Yeah.
Remember Jimmy Wang Yang from SmackDown?
Yeah. And then the Flying Elvis.
Yeah, it's amazing spotting some of these people and like what they went on to become. Like, and some of them are like not that far away, and then some of them are just like a million miles away from what they were here gimmick wise.
Well, I've been doing New Blood Rising, like a separate video, and it's Young Dragons against Freak Out, and like I didn't even know that the guy in the mask was Jamie Noble.
Yeah, it's Jamie-san he was.
But this was before this show, so I guess like these two have broken off or something.
Yep. I can't remember why, but yes.
Where's Tank Abbott?
Pardon?
Tank Abbott.
Oh, Tank Abbott. I think
he get kicked out of Freak Out as well.
Yeah, he ended up with I can't remember if that was before this when Evan Courageous was still in, or if it was after this with just two of them. I can't remember. But, that was gold.
Is that Jeff Jarrett in the stripy shirt in the front row?
Dollar Store Jeff Jarrett.
Wish.com.
Jeff Jarrett being Dollar Store insert main eventer here. So it's a Dollar Store guy. So this could be a really fun match, like just 6 cruiserweights, just do some mad stuff. Could be a lot of fun. Once you've got that ring slippy there, mate. Like nearly fell over nothing. But yeah, I think this could be like You know, like one of those matches where they're just like letting some
look at that.
some guys who can go do their thing. This is great dancing. This is what I tuned in for. Wow. I'm not sure that line would fly in 2020. Oh, bye-bye.
Oh, I didn't even hear
it. He said they look like a couple of hairy geishas.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm like, no. Just look like Japanese guys. That's all they look like. It astounds me how long wrestling held on to the stereotypical Japanese heel thing. It's like, how long before they could let go the whole, we were enemies in World War II thing. It was like in the 90s that the guy being healed just for being Japanese kind of faded out, which is just ridiculous.
Well, they were still doing stuff like that even until recently, like Roman Reigns against the League of Nations.
Yeah, true. But that was more of like just a general foreign heel. I mean, like the specific thing of having something against the Japanese. Like, basically every Japanese wrestler in America until about the 90s was heel because they were Japanese. Like, it was just crazy. It's like, can't let go of history that no one in the audience actually remembers. As a kid, I liked having Courageous. Like, I thought, oh, this guy's good. And just the more I watch of him since being a kid, the more I sort of disapprove of myself as a kid.
Well, so is he like... What's the deal with him then? He's just like not good, because
it's not that he's not good. His promo was awful, like, and like they're all good in the ring, like the WCW Cruiserweights. He doesn't stand out to me. I have no idea why as a kid I picked him out as he's the one that I think is gonna be someone. No idea.
This is bringing something back now. Like, didn't they also want him to be big? Like, that's why they broke him off, maybe?
Maybe, I don't know. Quite possibly. Like, I can sort of see why, but I can also see why it didn't work.
Because in that group, like, Helms went on and probably, like, I'd say Helms should go in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think at some point he'll go in as like, the fourth or fifth guy announced in 1 year. Yeah.
And I mean, like, Shannon Moore like had a pretty decent career, but I don't know if Courageous did much after this.
I don't remember ever seeing him in any other gimmick or just even as Edge and Courageous pop up anywhere like WWE, TNA, because I used to be reasonably keen on TNA after the pay-per-view era, but like in the Asylum era and the early Impact Zone era, I was quite into TNA. I feel like if he was anywhere, he would have been there. He wasn't in Ring of Honor when he used to follow that either, but I stopped following Ring of Honor when Punk left, so like there's a big margin there where he could have turned up, I suppose. But as far as I know, he never really went on to do anything after WCW. I think he got signed by WWE and sent to developmental and then eventually released. I don't think he ever did anything.
Apparently, Ted Turner still owns the trademark for 3 counts.
Does he? Oh, well.
According to Wikipedia.
Hurricane Helms owes him some money then, because I bought a 3 count shirt off his pro wrestling tees. He's probably just relying on, does Ted Turner really care about the 14 3 count shirts I sell a month? Like,
yeah.
Does he really want a cut of that pie? I got a 3 count shirt. I got a green Hurricane shirt, and I got a Hurricane stand back face mask, which I thought was really appropriate. So I got that.
But Helms is #1 fan then.
No, I saw him selling the shilling the face masks on Twitter, and I was like, actually, that's pretty funny having stand back on your face mask. I was like, I'll get one of them. And then just while I was on it, I was like, I'm gonna pay a load of,
to make the postage worth it.
Shipping, yeah. So I was like, I'm paying more in shipping than I am for the mask. So I was like, what else is on here while I'm looking? And I was like, yeah, 3 count. That's a fun vintage wrestling shirt to have. And then a Hurricane one. I was like, yeah, sure. And there was a little figurine. So I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. And so I just made it worth paying the shipping, basically. I could have gone on other people's shops, but I just didn't want to spend like an entire day going around pro wrestling tees. So, so he got some money out of me.
You know, like, when I first started watching this, I thought, like, Mark Madden was pretty annoying. But the more I watch of him, like, he's kind of okay. Like,
I think he's a really good heel commentator. I think he does exactly what he's supposed to do. He makes you want someone to shut him up.
Well, that's the thing, he does what he needs to do, but, I mean, like, he's not Bobby the Brain, though. He's not, like, JBL. He's just kind of like a, you know, like a Wish.com Bobby the Brain.
It's a Wish. Is a Wish heel commentator, but not like the suit. See that kick then? That's where Orange Cassidy got his gimmick from. But no, it's like a Wish delivery that you're actually kind of satisfied with, despite it not being exactly what the picture looked like. That's what Matt Madden is. He's not like the worst kind of Wish delivery. He's an okay one. Okay, I'm not going to ask for a refund on this one.
Because I didn't know who he was until recently. When, like, on Twitter, do you know Sean Ross Sapp?
Yeah.
On Twitter, like, him and Sean Ross Sapp were getting into like this massive blood feud.
Really?
I was like, who is this man? Because he didn't have a profile picture. His profile picture was like the Liverpool logo.
Liverpool.
So I was like, who is this guy? And I just like never would have thought he was a WCW commentator until I was watching like some random show and saw him. And I was like, oh, that's the guy. That's the guy that keeps arguing with Sean Ross Sapp.
Why is he a big Liverpool fan? He's American. Like,
well, I don't know.
You've got about 4 or 5 sports of your own that no one else in the world really plays. Like, why aren't you supporting one of them? Got the World Series of baseball that includes only American teams. Oh.
Right, I know we've been making fun of the show so far, but this is better than Survivor Series.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Absolutely. Already. I'd rather watch these first 2 matches 3 times each than watch the 6 matches on Survivor Series again. Like, you know, like, I'd be fine with that. Absolutely. I don't think there was anything massively wrong with Survivor Series. There was just nothing to really like about it either. Oh, way up. Hey up, here we go. Gonna take the boots off. Who wears boots to do a wrestling move, eh? She's just gonna flop. Like, as if 6 men couldn't have caught her.
Just like a stage dive at a rock concert.
Yeah, did you like how it was funny how there was a literal half a second pause? She hit them, they just stood there, and then they went, oh yeah, and all fell over. And by the way, again, apparently women can't be disqualified in WCW. Can just do what they like.
Well, they got the ladder, so I think
right.
I guess like
oh yes,
no
it's
DQ
triple
match or.
I guess it's triple threat,
It's
so there shouldn't be any DQs.
Of course, no DQ.
But in that case, this is right. Okay, this is in my top 5. Oh, nice. That was a unique way to do that ladder spot. I like that. It's in my top 5, like, grind my gear things with wrestling. When you get a no DQ tag match and they tag in and out for the start of the match, it's like, why? You can't be disqualified. Get in the ring, idiot. Like, I remember, I think it was the Survivor Series at the end of the Invasion story, and it's the Dudleys and the Hardys in a cage match. A cage! And one of each team is squished between the ropes and the cage in their corner. I'm like, mate, it's a cage match. You can't be disqualified. Get in there! And then eventually, they let it break down and it becomes a tornado match, so why have the tags in the... It's just so dumb. I hate it.
Well, do you know when... Mustache Mountain were the NXT Tag Champions.
Yeah.
And they lost the titles to, I think it was Undisputed Era when Tyler Bate threw the towel in.
Yeah.
And then I saw him and I was like, Tyler, where'd you throw the towel in?
You could have just broke it up.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, well, you know, technically you're only allowed one, like to break the submission up once so you get disqualified. And I'd already broken another submission up earlier in the match.
So get disqualified and keep
I
the
was like,
titles.
yeah, but you're the champions. The champion's advantage. And he was just like, didn't have a response. And he was like, yeah, it's not real.
I love when they go to that like you don't know. I love when they go to that because they haven't got an answer for this thing is not logical, sir. Oh, that was nice. That was a good finish.
Oh, my boys pick up the win.
Yeah. I should have put my 3-count shirt on if I'd have known they were on the show. A little bit of moral support for them. So speaking of shirts and moral support,
what's going on there?
Oh,
Is that Pam Pam
who is
Bigger?
that? Oh, is that Mike Awesome, the 70s guy? Oh wow, that was close, wasn't it? Is that the Wall or Dustin Rhodes? I think that's the Wall. Okay, cool. Sergeant AWOL, sorry, they're still doing Misfits in action. Cool. Why is Sergeant AWOL saving Mike Awesome? What's the story there? That's a nice hat, and I don't mean disco. Like, imagine like.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize. I was so like looking at his hat. I didn't even realize he was wearing a hat.
Imagine being a backstage interviewer these days and just having like some really attention-grabbing hat. Vince would be like, "No, take it off. You're not the star. No one knows your name."
Also, those sunglasses, like that style of sunglasses, the ones that like really, I don't know what you call them, like
Yeah, I don't know what you'd
they're
call
like
the
swimming
overall.
goggles, kind of.
Yeah, they look like that. Yeah, I don't know what like you've got aviators that they have a name, but I don't know what the group name for that type of. But I would call it the year 2000 sunglasses because everyone was wearing them.
There he is. He's just been singing the theme.
Here's photo count.
Yeah. Is he related to like Bret Hart and the Harts, or is his name just
No,
a coincidence?
I think I looked that up once because he was managing them, and I was like, same name, managing them, and I think I looked up, and I think no, it's no relation, it's just coincidence. He's from the South. He made his name in Memphis, didn't he?
Oh yeah,
Jerry
God, the
Lawler's.
map of the South.
Yeah, but I think it was Memphis where he came through. Who's this guy and what is he wearing? Is that what you just wear to work in the production truck at WCW? That's incredible. If that's a uniform, I want a job. Oh, what are we angry about? What's going on?
Wait, these guys, where are they in the cat's office? Or are they?
He probably won it back.
Wait, so
Wait, didn't he win the boxing match because of Shane Douglas interference?
Oh, so much happened on that show. I can't even remember.
Didn't he win the boxing match, but then for some reason a wrestling match immediately followed with no explanation, and then I think he might have lost that. I can't remember, but hey, I'll be damned if the WCW writers knew what was going on.
Who are these people?
So this, I remember this vaguely. He's some local DJ that was a big deal. Mancow, yeah. And Jimmy Hart started some beef with him on radio leading up to this because obviously, you know, WWE had Mike Tyson and Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels. So WCW were like, okay, it's been a few years now. We can follow that without anyone realizing we're copying them, and it'll be the revival of us. So they brought in Mancow to fight Jimmy Hart. Oh, it is the WCW version.
And he actually is wearing swimming goggles.
Yep. Yeah, they actually might be swimming goggles. Yeah, you might be right. Could you get tinted swimming goggles in case you were swimming in a country with bright sunshine, like in the sea or the outdoor pool? Okay.
Yeah, who's this gold nose?
It's like 2% of gold dust. Oh no, they came off like sunglasses. They are the most convincing swimming goggles I've ever seen that were not swimming goggles. Oh wow. The guy with the gold nose is looking at you, man. Oh boy.
Wait, is it his entrance theme is All the Small Things by Blink-182?
Wait, hang on. Let me get both earphones in.
No,
Jimmy Hart says.
It won't actually be, but it sounds like it.
Yeah, it's the WCW. Yeah, so I'm surprised this one made it on the network. But if you remember, I don't know if you ever watched like original WCW because they changed all the music now. DDP had a blatant knockoff of "Smells Like Teen Spirit."
Yeah,
Raven
had like
had
a
knockoff
different.
of something.
Come As You Are, I think, was it?
Was it, or was it? I
Oh,
thought it was a Metallica song. Or someone had a Metallica song. I can't remember who had a Metallica. But they were all just blatant knockoffs that were just changed enough to get around the whole copyright thing. Like, change every third note and no one questions it kind of thing.
I used to love watching those YouTube videos that are like wrestling songs that are ripped off of like popular songs. They still do it now, though.
Yeah, but like not quite as directly and as blatantly as WCW did in the 90s. Like DDP's song was literally just "Smells Like Teen Spirit" played badly. It was like someone who's like, you know, been learning guitar for about 3 months or something, playing "Smells Like Teen Spirit." You know, like it was. Has he? Oh, okay. Well, then we don't need this match then, do we?
I'm trying to think of someone's from like current day. Nia Jax's theme is Spitfire by Prodigy.
Is it?
Yeah, then listen to the two of them like one after another, and you'll see what I mean. What else is there? I don't know if you know Brie Bella's theme, but that's Hangover by Tyre Cruz.
Wait, Brie Bella had her own theme? Like there
Brie
wasn't just
Oh.
Right, so the thing is with that song, I have only ever heard the Brie mode bit because that's the point where I would mute the TV / like stick something sharp in my ears to burst my eardrums to not have to hear anything else from Brie Bella. So I'm not sure what the rules are here, but so far we've been hit with a crutch, a fat guy with a gold nose has hit Jimmy Hart with a clothesline, and he's kicked Mancow in the balls. I don't think there's disqualifications here somehow. Hey, wait, what? What's he doing out here? Didn't Ric Flair ban everyone from ringside, and yet now 3 count are just like, yeah, we're okay. We're here. We're not wrestlers, we're a boy band, it's different.
Wait, they objected to his t-shirt. They were like, hey, boy bands suck, we're gonna go and t-shirt.
Or maybe they're doing it as a solid for Jimmy, you know, with him having done their theme tune for them. Well, that was smooth. Well done. It only took you 3.5 minutes to get that cast off. Oh god, who's supposed to be the face here? I'm guessing Mancow because he's a local celebrity, but he just seems like unless he's one of those, like, you get some non-wrestling celebrities who have like a gimmick. So like a good example, did he just punch him in the bumhole? Anyway. Like, Floyd Mayweather comes to mind. He was a heel boxer. He made so much money throughout his career because people tuned in to watch him lose. And he was cocky and arrogant and went on about how much money he'd made. He was a heel boxer. So maybe this guy's like a heel radio DJ? So, Crowbar's friends with Mike Awesome this week.
Oh, that's Crowbar.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I was saying before. He's a ladies' man now. Last month he was a lunatic with a literal crowbar running around screaming and laughing. Now he's a ladies' man who's friends with Mike Awesome. They are some sidies. Our new attitude and our new look. We got new shirts, boys. Can people buy them, please?
Ooh.
Ooh. You're the suspect of Mike Awesome going through a table. I thought they were going to keep it mystery then, because the cameraman couldn't figure out his way around the the support beam for just a second. Hey up, it's Rey Mysterio. He's turning more and more into the devil every month. He's got red hair and a red goatee now. Conan's rough as toast, mate. Conan no-showed the show, so we made something up.
Oh, did you know so?
I guess so. Like, otherwise, why would they have, like, WCW would write him out with a backstage attack or something, wouldn't they? You know, not just not have him be there and make an excuse. He pulled last night at a party and couldn't make the show that starts at like 7 p.m. the next day. Hey up, here he is. Here he is.
Vito. Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah, big Vito. Do you remember him wearing a dress on SmackDown?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
His finishing move was putting the opponent's head in the dress.
Yeah, he used to do the 10-count punches. But before he like started the punches after he stepped up, yeah, he'd put the dress over the head. Yeah. like that's any worse. He had trunks on underneath. Everyone saw his trunks because his dress was always riding up when he got taken down. So how's that any worse than like literally any other wrestler doing the 10-count punches and sticking the crotch in your face while they punch you? Like, it's like, oh no, there's a bit of cloth on my head. This is way more intimidating. Way more humiliating. I hate that hair so much. If I ran WCW back then, I'd have been like, every week I'd have been pitching him on a hair versus hair match with someone. Like, every week I'd have been like, I need to get rid of that thing. That is ridiculous. Even for year 2000 and for professional wrestling, that's a ridiculous look. It looks like, you know, you get those stickers for like the suction things for your car that say like, you know, grandkids on board or something. It looks like one of them, but with a ponytail stuck to the back of his head. I'm guessing this is a hardcore match by the abundance of bins and kendo sticks.
Well, it's probably a hardcore title. I don't know who the champion is, though.
Yeah, did either of them bring a belt out? I didn't notice one.
Unless it's vacant, I don't know.
Maybe. Or maybe Vito had it under his jacket. He did have a jacket on.
Just the same match as last month. Is it a rematch? They showed a clip from it.
Pass?
It was Reno against somebody last month.
Yeah. Wait.
Oh, Creewy.
Okay. Oh, he's the champ. Okay.
Makes
sense. Makes sense to start the match without the actual champion in there. I hated this era's WCW belts as well. Like, is it just me or does that hardcore title look a lot like a tag title? Like, it doesn't look like a hardcore title. It doesn't look distinctive at all. Like, WWF's was like just this trashed, messed up belt that suited being a hardcore title. And then WCW's was just a spare tag title they found that they never released. Or something. It just looked rubbish, I thought.
Do you remember when Tommy Dreamer won the hardcore title and he put like, what was it, like a New York number plates on the belt?
Did he? I don't remember that at all. That's pretty wild. No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's like one of the, see if I can find a photo of it.
That's what they should have done with the hardcore title, or, like, they should have just added a thing to it every time someone won it. Not in the 24/7 era, obviously, but, like, well, a really cool way to make a belt.
It did look really cool, from what I remember.
Oh, kendo stick to the leg. And one over there. Why not? Just take the belt. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Just take it. There you go. Vito's got the right idea.
Speaking of hardcore titles, the Gobbledygooker winning the 24/7 title.
R-Truth remains, like, he has been consistently for the last, like, year or so. If they have a bad show or a boring show or a less than great show, he's just always universally the entertaining thing on the show. He just never fails with me. R-Truth, I love him. I absolutely love R-Truth. But yeah, the Gobbledygooker winning. It just... How, like, unprepared for it the panel were was just the best bit. Like, they were just all corpsing. There was no acting going on there. There was no, oh, we're calling the action. Oh, nice. They were just like, just laughing, and the gobbledygooker lost one of his shoes and stuff. It was just excellent. I love it.
Is that an Italian baseball bat?
Yep. That well-known Italian sport of baseball. Oh, depending on which way he's holding it, couldn't it be a Hungarian one as well? Maybe he nicked it off someone. I love how Vito's gimmick is so Italian that he's only allowed to use weapons that are green, white, and red. Like, the traffic cone is Italian. The stick he brought to the ring is Italian. His baseball bat is Italian. It's like, we get it! He's Italian. He was born in America, but we get it. Someone in his family tree somewhere was Italian. We understand. No, I missed that one. What did he say?
So Crowbar did a German suplex. Backman goes, oh, hey, a wrestling match and a hardcore... No, hey, a wrestling move in a hardcore match. How did you get away with that?
That's funny. I like that. What's your favourite, hardcore match weapon? Because they use different weapons than they do to cheat in real matches. Like, in real matches, they use chairs, maybe a kendo stick, and occasionally, a table, don't they? That's what they cheat with. Or the belt, that's a popular one. But, in hardcore matches, they bring out, traffic cones, stop signs, trash can lids. What's your favourite, this can only be used in a hardcore match weapon?
I love how, is it Raven brings out a bowling ball and then puts it in the corner and then bowls it and
That's a good shout. That's a good shout for a favourite. I like that. Yeah, good pick. I think mine is the good old fashioned stop sign. I like the idea of stopping someone in the tracks by hitting them with the word stop. That's always appealed to me. They're running wild in the match, then turn around and they just get bopped on the head with the word stop, and I'm just like, yep, I like that.
Well, something that this is really meta, but it's quite funny as well. I've seen people use for kitchen sink because say hit them with everything but the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's the kitchen sink as well now.
Well, do you know of the wrestling move called the kitchen sink, right? It's
yeah, I haven't seen that move used.
It's just so when you whip someone off the ropes and then you stick a knee out and they kind of flip over it, so you've hit them in the gut. That's called the kitchen sink.
Yeah, but that's a move. I only ever used to see it on SmackDown 2. I never see that in real life.
I was just gonna say, I'm pretty sure it got named in the games before in real wrestling. I'm pretty sure that became its name because that was its name in the games and it kind of got adopted. Because I don't remember it ever being referred to as that before the games started including it. But I like it as a name for a move, but I feel like it should be something more drastic since it's named after hit him with everything but the kitchen sink. It should be a really dramatic move, not a knee to the gut. But yeah, I think you've won the best hardcore weapon award with Raven's bowling ball. It's going to be tough to beat. If anyone's got a better answer and wants to leave it in the comments, I'd love to see what people have seen used. Especially, I'd love to know what people have seen used at, local indies, because they're always funny in hardcore matches. And fans bring the weapon matches and stuff.
My local indie, there's, the wet floor sign is it's a running thing.
Yeah.
All the big betrayals have come with someone getting hit over the head with a wet floor sign.
That's amazing. But I remember my local indie, there are more nearby ones, but the one I used to like to go to, they had fans bring the weapons match, and that's always fun. But it was then funny because all the fans had the same idea. No one brought something creative. Everyone just brought a kitchen appliance, so there was a toaster, a kettle. It was just it was just a kitchen brawl basically. It was that funny.
I think didn't Progress do one years ago, and someone brought a grandfather clock.
I don't know. I never really followed Progress, but that's amazing if they did. That's commitment. Bringing a whole grandfather clock with you to a wrestling show is commitment to the cause. That's impressive. Oh, by the way, we've ended up backstage. That's good. That had to happen. I hope that wasn't supposed to be product placement. Because it's not anymore.
Product displacement.
Yeah. Who's that? Who are you? That's Marie. Okay, there we go. Question answered. Move on. What? Who's Marie? Is that Marie? Yeah, Tony Schiavone just said it's Marie. Who is Marie? Oh, Marie is either Vito's girlfriend and Reno's sister, or vice versa. I can't remember which way, but I think that's what they were feuding over. Was one of them was dating the other one's sister and didn't like it. I think it was Shane McMahon and Test, basically.
It's not Dawn. Yeah, it's Dawn Marie.
No, that was not Dawn Marie. No, I'm not having that. That did not look anything like. No. Dawn Marie was how can I put this sensitively in 2020? She had a lot more front than that. No, Dawn Marie was just bigger built anyway. I think she wasn't like that girl was quite skinny. I'm not saying Dawn Marie was fat by any stretch, like at all, but she wasn't like super skinny. I don't think that was Dawn Marie. I mean, check it. If it was, that's a damn good shout.
No, it wasn't. I typed Marie WCW in, and Dawn Marie came up, so that's why I thought it was.
But, yeah, and no. the name similarity. Oh, here they are. Do you remember these? The insiders. Get it? Because they're not the outsiders. They've been here forever, so they're the insiders. I did a TEW save with WCW, and I just had these two making like really, really inside baseball references in every promo just because they were the insiders. So they were the only ones I allowed to carry on breaking kayfabe, basically. Everyone else had to start sticking to it again, and they just did whatever they wanted. It was great. Let me tell you something, old man. So, Cat's heel again. You get me, Baldy?
Yeah, but if he's a heel, I'm not comfortable with Shane Douglas being a face.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the cat's just a cat, isn't he? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like me and a friend were talking about this earlier. Like, all the best top faces in the history of the wrestling business were heels. So, like, why not the cat? Like, Mean Gene, go on, boy.
Oh, what did he say?
He said I could rock your world, sweetheart.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, shoot your shot while you still can. But, no, we were talking about this and we were like, Hulk Hogan in the 80s, heel. Like, 100% he used to rape people's eyes, he used to cheat, he used to complain when he lost, like, you know, he used to steal people's thunder. It was just heel. And that's not even out of character, that's just in kayfabe he was heel. You know, like, Steve Austin, heel. The Rock, heel. Like, they were all just heels that the fans loved. Like, no one ever acted like a babyface and got over as a babyface. Like, people say, like, Hulk Hogan, but God, no, Hulk Hogan, when you actually watch it back, he was always cheating and stuff.
Well, I was trying to explain, like, the Hurt Business to someone the other day, and they're like, oh, so they're heels. And I'm like, yeah, but they're heels, but, like, everyone loves them. Like, they're...
It depends who they're fighting.
Yeah, like, if they're fighting Sami Zayn, they're faces.
Yeah, they're heels, but they kind of stood up for the entire company against that outside threat that was coming in. So, and they were outnumbered massively, but they still went down to the ring and had a fight. So, no, not even slightly heel, but yeah, they're heels. Yeah, the Hurt Business are like one of the hardest to define in current WWE. I feel like WWE have gone a lot more lax with the face-heel dynamic in a lot of people, though, purely because there's no audience, so they can just kind of do what they want at the moment. They can have heels fight heels, they can have faces fight faces, and there's no consequences for it. So and I kind of like it. Overall, the last few months, except Survivor Series, the last few months has been sort of the most I've enjoyed WWE in the last few years, I would say. So I'm not against it.
There's someone's on commentary.
Who's on? Oh, I think it's that girl who comes out with the Filthy Animals. Tigress is her name, I think. I love how they just stick anyone on commentary. Like, they just like, right, we need something for you to do on the show. Stevie Ray, can you wrestle yet? Are you cleared? No, right, commentary for you again. Tigress, are you gonna take a bump for us in this match against those big guys? No chance. Okay, you can go on commentary. Like, it was just like, just everyone go on commentary. Why not? So this is a 3-on-2 handicap match. For some reason.
Oh,
Disco
really?
Inferno decided not to be in it, even though he had the option, which would have made it 4-on-2. So
Oh,
that
because
makes...
Conan isn't there.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be 4-on-3, but then Conan didn't show up. So then Disco was like, oh, well, I don't have to wrestle. It's like, no, idiot. Make it 4-on-2. Make it even easier. Well, I mean, 2-on-2, this would seem unfair. Alex Wright is just there to be like a 2.5 in the 2.5-on-2, isn't he? Brian Adams came a long way since Everything I Do For You, didn't he? Hit the gym. I probably should have gone with Summer of '69. It was a more succinct joke with that title, but whatever. Nope.
Oh, this Brian Adams was probably born in the summer of '69.
Quite possibly. It's a very specific guess. If you're right, that's spooky. Hey!
Yeah, that's what he was named after. That song was really popular at the time, so they named him after it.
Yeah, maybe. Although wasn't the song Summer of '69 out in like the 80s?
Okay.
I mean, it's a song reminiscent about the summer of '69. You can't release it in the summer of '69. Like,
Yeah,
in the autumn of '69. Hey, I remember the summer of '69. They're like, that was 2 months ago, dude. Calm down. Rey Mysterio bothering to save the match for some reason. I'd just be like, you know what? Let's just let him get pinned, not get hurt anymore, and just come back when we've got Conan again. This is why I wouldn't be a good wrestler. I'd just be like, oh, we're outnumbered. Count out loss. Just walk out. Just, nope. Nope. This guy's bigger than me. Count out loss.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
What, Ray coming over the top? Yeah.
A little stall on top.
It's like just a little casual flex of, hey, remember me, the best luchador in the world? Like, and it's just like, yeah, I'm doing all this character stuff at the moment, but remember me, best luchador in the world? Okay, just checking. You know what's super weird? It's like watching a Rey Mysterio match, and we're not going to get that weird spot where someone lands across the middle rope and he does the 619. Like, that was a WWE thing. It's weird watching Rey and the 619 not being a thing that's coming.
Yeah, I never realised that was like the WWE thing.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure he never did it in WCW. I don't recall it. I think, what did he used to use as his finish? I think was it like Hurricane Rana where he came off the top rope and then hooked the legs or something. He used to do something like that. It was something like super high flying-y. Can't remember what his finish was now in WCW, but...
Was he giving him a stopwatch and a magazine?
Say that again, sorry. I was wondering what Disco's doing.
Well, I think he's just handed him a stopwatch.
Yeah, so they're paid by the hour. I don't want to spoil anything. I think I remember this match.
Is it an hour-long draw?
Yeah, 60-minute time limit draw, yeah. 7 stars. 7 stars, Brian Clark earned 6 of them. It always annoyed me, something rotten, when Brian Clark still called it the Meltdown. I was like, you ditched your Wrath gimmick. Don't keep calling it the Meltdown. That was Wrath's move. You're not Wrath. Call it something generic like your name. Call it the Clark Driver. That was like one of my most upsetting things about WCW in this sort of era. Was Wrath losing his name.
Wait, sorry, who's Wrath?
Wrath was Brian Clark, the chronic one that's not in the ring, the super orange chronic guy. He was Wrath.
What, before?
Yeah, and I always liked Wrath as a kid, and then suddenly, like, I'd stopped watching WCW by then because like it was awful, and all my friends watched WWF, so easy decision. But when I heard that he was now called Brian Clark, I was like, why? Why would you do that? Like, that's kind of cheesy, but it's also still better than being called Brian Clark. Like, what a scary name that is.
Yeah.
Sounds like an accountant. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't sound like a scary wrestler dude, does it?
No bad mouth in accountants, please.
Oh no, I'm not saying like that's a bad thing being an accountant. I'm just saying it sounds like an office job, not like
Yeah, okay.
That was just a generic office job I came out with. You're an accountant? I never knew that.
Yeah, well, I'm training.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. There you go. He's gonna be in the money one day. Literally, your job will be in the money. Hey, look at that! There's the 619. There's where it came from. Which is not an offensive move.
Hit with the black mass.
Yeah, if that was meant to be a black mass. That was a. I always right. So my understanding of wrestling. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, here's the bit I didn't want to spoil. You know that stopwatch you gave us, Disco? Well, now it's backfired on you, silly boy. We're done.
But they gave him like a massive envelope full of cash.
Yeah, they obviously charge a lot per hour. Maybe it was all $1 bills. Maybe he paid them in singles. There's only like $45 in there.
Yeah, maybe.
Sort of tickles me that Chronic didn't care about like the win or the loss in this match. They only cared about doing what they were paid for. But like the theory in wrestling has always been the more matches you win and the higher up the card you go, the more you're paid. So shouldn't they just have like taken the money and then still won the match? Because then in theory in the future they would be earning more.
You say they're just like a Wish.com APA.
Yeah, basically.
I need to stop calling it Wish.com because I'm pretty sure they don't have a website.
Yeah, Wish have a website, don't they?
I thought you had to buy it off the app.
No, I think if you're on a computer, you can use the website, I think.
Oh, that's a game changer.
I'm not sure, actually. It's a game changer. Now I can be disappointed more frequently. I always used to say pound shop, but as I started interacting with more international people, and like most of my people I interact with are either American or Australian now, so now I say dollar store for everything. Like they're a dollar store this, they're a dollar store that. What does that mean? What are you gonna do? Firework display? You're gonna set off? What does that mean? I think Sean O'Hare might be the only person who's ever managed to pull off that facial hair, like, and it actually look okay on him.
I saw. Oh, I don't know. Now we probably need to see what sign is. I'll tell you after because you need to hear this.
Fair enough. Said my Y chromosome might not be connected. That's his injury. He's injured. He's wrestling injured. He's got a detached Y chromosome. I love Scott Steiner. What does that even mean? Oh, God.
I forgot what I was going to say now.
Yeah. He'll have that effect. By the way, to the right of Shane Douglas, camera right, is the reason why he's a heel.
Well, Tori.
Yeah. Anyone that gets to walk to the ring, like, is just instantly a heel in my book. Possibly the worst heel in the history of the business, though. I mean, Tori here, because, like, she just looks like, as like, she just looks somehow too wholesome and nice. She just gives off nice vibes to me.
Mm.
And apparently she is a really nice person, but she just gives off nice person vibes. I don't know what it is. No matter whether she's trying to act heel or what, she just seems too nice.
See, I didn't realise the Young Bucks got the Tassely thing from the franchise there.
Oof. I don't think they'd like that accusation. I think they'd rather you said it was Ultimate Warrior than Shane Douglas. I hope you're not meaning chronologically first, because you ain't watched any wrestling if you think that's the case.
Yeah, look, they copied the super kick from Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, that one's for sure.
Look, he's got a Tessa Blanchard tattoo on his arm.
He's got what?
The Tessa Blanchard tattoo.
Has he?
Look on his right arm.
Oh, the one around the arm. Has Tessa got that?
No, the you might have to see a close up or something. Like the diamond.
The cat is the greatest. Correct. Good sign.
Oh, it's such a good song. Turn it back on. I want to see the Cat and Steiner have a promo battle. I think it would be great.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Just book that for 3 hours for Nitro. They'd have stayed in business. Like just a 3-hour promo between the Cat and Scott Steiner. No script.
Like a presidential debate.
Oh God, imagine that. Imagine like the Jericho and MGF debate. Oh, okay. See? Oh no, he was actually distracted. I was going to say women cannot be disqualified in WCW. It's a fact. But no, yeah, they should have had like the Jericho and MJF debate, but between Kat and Scott Steiner, that would have been ratings, like big time. Oh, why is he attacking Mark Madden?
Right.
Stevie Ray's just laughing at him. Oh. Hey, look, women can't be disqualified. Referee's like right there. Dr. Shivani's got it, it's okay. Okay, Stevie, you're overdoing the fake laughing a little bit there. You hear him? He was like, yeah! Oh, partly
So
ref didn't see that.
we're without Madden for the rest of the show, it seems.
It's
You hear him like wheezing.
yeah. I can't tell who's overselling more, him with the choke or Stevie with the laugh. Yeah, I feel like she'd apologise afterwards though. Like, I just don't buy her as a heel. Like, Tori Wilson as a heel, nah. Just can't buy it. I don't think she ever did a heel run in WWE, did she?
Not that I can think of.
I mean, she was in the Invasion, but I mean after she was like in WWE proper. And even then, the women they were kind of heel, but like no one really cared. Everyone was just like, "Hey, the women are gonna have a bra and panties match, so we'll just cheer in general." Like no one cared who they were meant to be cheering and booing in the women's division in 2001. Like, let's be honest.
Well, I'm just reading now. It says she was in a team with Carlito.
What? When? I do not remember that.
Yeah, me neither.
I do not remember that one bit. Oh, having a dance. I remember her being with Tajiri, but she was kind of like the sympathetic face, even though he was heel.
Yeah,
like reluctant heel, wasn't she? So I remember that, but I don't remember her in Carlito.
Oh wait, no. She was in a team called Vince's Devils with Candice Michelle, and they attacked Ashley Mazzaro after she won the Diva Search.
Oh, I guarantee no one booed or cheered or anything. I guarantee nothing came of that in terms of crowd. They're all like, "Hey, look, something to do with the diva search is happening. Tyler!" All the booing you heard was people joining the back of the toilet queue that was 3.5 miles long and booing it.
What arena is this? What's the attendance like of a show? Is it like...
I don't know, it's somewhere in Milwaukee. Which is traditionally, I think, Wisconsin's an okay wrestling town.
I'm trying to look like how big the arena is. What, like 10,000 maybe? Maybe a bit more?
Yeah, a bit more, I would say. I don't know. It's hard to tell because you can't tell quite how shallow the seating is.
It's quite dark up top as well. Let's see.
Yeah, the top's all blacked off. There's no lights on the top section as well.
Oh no, the attendance, right? It's under 4,000.
Really?
3,800.
Well, I'd say based on how full those levels look, I'd say the arena must hold, I'd say between 7,500 to 10,000, somewhere in that range. It's not.
Actually, yeah.
It doesn't look less than half full, does it?
Look right up the top where it's darked out. You can't really see any people.
Yeah, but there doesn't seem to be that much of it. There's not as many seats up there that are blacked out as there are down at the bottom. It doesn't look like, so it's. You know what I mean? That means it's over half full, so it might only be a 7,000 seater or something. Oh no, does it not say what arena it's in? Can you not just follow that link and see what the capacity is?
UW Milwaukee Panther Arena. Oh, I can see what the capacity is.
I'd say this looks like it's about 2/3 to 3/4 full though.
It says it can have up to 13,000 people.
Behave, not for wrestling. Surely. There's no way that's only a third full. There's not enough room for more seats.
Well, this is now, so I guess they could have
expanded, yeah.
Yeah, in the meantime.
Yeah. And also, the maximum attendance is for the smallest possible room taker-upper. Wrestling, you've got to think, you've got the ringside area, you've got all the backstage, you've got, it's partitioned off, and you've got the ramp and stuff. You take quite a lot of an arena out with
the ramp takes I think quarter, doesn't it? Because that's one.
Yeah, there's barely anyone on that side of the arena. There's only the few at ramp side that get there. There's barely any seating there, so yeah.
Oh, so I'm just looking it up. This was the same arena where Stone Cold gave Austin 316 promo.
Oh, really? Wow, okay.
It was also the same arena where Owen Hart... Oh, no, actually, sorry, no, was that Over the Edge 98 or 99?
Yeah. 99. No. 99.
Yeah, okay, no, it wasn't the same arena as that then.
Okay. Was it 99? Oh, I don't want to get something like that wrong, but I genuinely can't remember.
I think it probably was, because I think that they discontinued it afterwards.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, doing the same show again a year later would seem a bit insensitive. Yeah, 99 makes sense. The way I was thinking of it, sadly enough. Oh. Okay, that would have been an interesting finish. Referee gets the win. So the way I was thinking of it was, I know Owen Hart was on Warzone and he was on Attitude, but WWF Attitude had a in memoriam to Owen Hart. At the start of the game after the loading.
Yeah.
So, and that came out in 99, so it must have been a bit later in 99. So he still got included. It was too late in production to take him out, because if there'd have been a chance to take him out, I'm sure. Is her name Martha?
Yeah.
Yeah, she'd have had him taken out if she could. So I think it was close, but they just managed to add an in memoriam to it, kind of thing. So why is the cat not allowed to use a red slip-on shoe to kick someone? There's clearly no room for anything lethal on that, but wrestlers are allowed to use any kind of boots. Xavier Woods is allowed to wear pointy-toed boots that you could stab someone with. but but that shoe is a weapon. I don't. Wrestling.
Did you imagine singing then?
No.
Also, I think this music has been dubbed over. It doesn't sound like it goes with the footage.
He used James Brown, didn't he?
So they've had to cut that out.
Yeah. And I think he even appeared on the show, James Brown, didn't he? I have a recollection of him showing up when Cat was being a heel. I'm sure he berated James Brown at some point.
Oh, the NWO is still going?
I've no idea. Probably just forgot to tell the guy to change his hoodie. Wait, what year is this? 2000? There was an NWO 2000 that had Jeff Jarrett in it. But I don't know what months it was active in. Hugh Morris versus Lance Storm could be a really fun match. Okay. He listened to Chavo, that's good.
Didn't we have that match last month?
No, it was some handicap match with Jim Duggan in it, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, of course.
And Major Guns in a Canadian bikini, but helping the Americans because she didn't want to pretend to be Canadian. Oh. Wait, so has Major Guns fully turned heel? I feel like that line must have been about her. Maybe now she's decided she's Canadian.
Wait, so that guy's called what? Corporal Cajun?
Yeah, so the guy who's going to be fighting is General Rection. Chavo Guerrero is Lieutenant Loco. Lash LaRue, which is the guy with the side, is the redhead guy. He is Lieutenant Loco. And the Wall is Sergeant AWOL. And Booker T, when he was in it, was G.I. Bro. But he's well removed from it now.
What's going on? The commentators are selling this, like, big time.
Oh god, is this Glacier? Oh my god. Oh, brilliant. That's like one of my biggest shames of being a child wrestling fan. I really liked Glacier as a kid. I thought it was cool. No pun intended. I genuinely thought it was cool. And now you watch it back and you're like, yeah, I needed better taste. Bam Bam Bigelow.
The thing is, this is the first Bam Bam Bigelow match I've ever seen.
Really? Wow. Okay.
I think so. I think I might have seen the WrestleMania 11 match, actually.
But I don't think I've seen that one.
I don't think I've seen the full match. I think I've seen, like, clips of it, maybe.
Yeah. Medical facility. Damn it. It's going to be Sergeant AWOL. That's what Ric Flair wanted to talk to him about. Here we go. Here we go. Here comes Ric Flair to introduce Sergeant AWOL. I don't know whose music this is, says Steve Ray. Professional wrestler. I feel like that was a dig.
Oh,
you know, all the commentary, the lines were like, "Who the hell is this?" And it's like you can see who it is. It's someone on the roster. You ain't.
I don't get how this hairstyle was ever popular. Looking back, it's awful.
I mean, is it any worse than the mullet? Is it any worse than the original punk mohawk? Is it like everything that's been in style? Once it goes out of style, you look back and you're like, oh, actually, that was kind of awful.
Mm-hmm.
Like Look at what we've just had recently. Like I mean, no, I'm sorry if you've ever had anything like this or anyone watching, but man buns. That was the in thing, and I'm like, that's the new mullet and mustache. Like in 20 years, you're gonna look back at pictures of yourself and be like, well, damn, shouldn't have done that. Like, it was so clearly that thing from this era. Like I don't know how everyone didn't spot it. We should learn from our mistakes. What do you reckon the next one's going to be? It'd be interesting to try and predict what's the next terrible fashion thing that everyone will
Bam Bam Bigelow's hair.
Or just everyone gets a flaming tattoo on the head and shaves their head. Yes. I'd get behind that. I'd jump on that bandwagon.
Bad Luck Fale's got that, and like I'd never noticed until recently. For the longest time, I just thought it was his hair.
Has he actually? I never clocked that either.
Yeah, he has.
To be fair though, since I've been watching New Japan regular, I haven't seen a whole lot of Bad Luck Fale. Like, I've seen clips from, like, Bullet Club recaps, this is the story of Bullet Club on YouTube and stuff like that, but I don't think I've ever seen him actually involved in a full-length match yet. Like,
I think he did, kind of slow down a bit, because I think he got, I think he put on quite a lot of weight, and he was working on, like, getting back in shape, but also he runs like a wrestling school, Fale Dojo, it's called.
Does he run the LA Dojo? Oh,
no,
okay.
the Fale Dojo. I think it's in like, where's he from? I think it's in like New Zealand or something.
Oh yeah, he's not American, is he? Yeah, he's
The LA Dojo is Shibata, I think.
It's where?
No, Shibata is
Shibata.
I think.
Sorry, I thought you said the Fale Dojo, and then you were saying where it is. I was like, it's where? What? I've never heard of that place. But right, okay, I'm getting your Fales and your LAs mixed up here. Yeah, no, he's. I don't think I've ever seen him like majorly in action, like since I've been watching New Japan regular. I say since I've been watching regular, like I'm not still halfway through the G1, but kind of fell behind a bit. But yeah, this year until the whole break because of the pandemic, I watched every New Japan show from like the start of the year to the break.
I was saying I always kind of fall out around the G1 because it's just so much wrestling in such like little time. Yeah, there's like 2 other tournaments going on now as well. Yeah,
I probably won't catch up. I'll probably just pick up. I'll probably watch the rest of G1 because I've been enjoying G1. It's been a lot of fun. It's lived up to the reputation other people give it, which things don't often do, so that's good. Then I'll watch that big show where they did Jay White against Ibushi, and then I will probably watch Wrestle Kingdom, and I'll be back up to date. I think I'll skip the other tournaments. Like, as fun as some of the matches probably are, like, I think I can survive missing those tournaments, you know.
Yeah, like, the Road 2 shows, like the Road to Tokyo Dome, you probably watch it if you can, but, like, if you can't, it's not an issue.
Yeah, it's not crucial. If anyone wants to let us know in the comments what matches we've missed from the G1 and the tag tournament and the juniors tournament, feel free, and I'll happily check out occasional matches if they've been really good. I know most of the story beats that are going on. Like, I've been keeping up with like the news. I just haven't had time to watch. So. Anyway, we should talk about WCW.
Yeah, there's a match going on here.
We do this. We did this a lot in Halloween Havoc. There was a lot of tangents. To be fair, if you wanted to hear someone sit and commentate on the show just as it happens, there's kind of 3 guys that got paid to do that right there at ringside, so you can just watch the show. The whole point of like a watch along is to like enjoy it as if you sat with some mates and they're just chatting, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's
also this isn't the most gripping match anyway, so just a bit of relief when when it slows down a little.
Yeah, I'm greatly looking forward to the next bell that rings. Put it that way. I think that'll be a highlight of the show. The next bell that rings.
Oh yeah, this match has killed the crowd. But people say like Bam Bam Bigelow was like one of the best big men, but I mean he doesn't look great yet. He was just like towards the end of his career, or
he was like a good 10 or 15 years past prime at this point, to be fair.
Okay.
Like he was a really good big man in like the sort of mid to late 80s, early 90s. He was sort of pushing the end. He was past his peak when he main evented WrestleMania, to be fair. Like, yeah.
He main evented that because he was like against a celebrity, right? It wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't like a big star at the time, was he?
No, it's just because he was the guy that got put against the celeb. Was it the Refrigerator? Was his nickname?
He's called Lawrence Taylor. I don't know who that is, though.
Oh no, the Refrigerator was someone else that did wrestling once. Never mind. Yeah, Lawrence Taylor. I remember. Oh, maybe it was the Refrigerator. I'm hopeless at American sports. I haven't got a clue. So I genuinely would not know him if I bumped into him in the street because I've not watched the match and I don't know who he is. I'm not aware of American football at all. So, like I genuinely I know the name, but I don't think I'd know Tom Brady if I bumped into him in the street, and that's like the biggest name I can think of in American football. I don't think I know what he looks like.
Tom Brady, I think, is just like a very like normal looking man. So I think like you probably would struggle to spot him in the street.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like wrestling where like everyone's so distinctive looking, especially like 90s, 80s, and even early 2000s wrestling. It's where it's sort of like blatantly obvious you're a wrestler just because you look like that. You know, like, what else is Bam Bam Bigelow going to be doing for a living? Like, come on. Like, what else could he do for a living? Like, he's obviously a wrestler. Same with The Wall. But, like, yeah, a footballer, they wear a helmet. It doesn't matter what they look like, you know.
Well, I mean, the Wall looked okay back in his shirt and tie days. He could have got an office job or something.
Yeah, but now, looking at him in this match, it's like, yeah, you're a wrestler. You are pushing 7 foot tall and you have a bright blonde mohawk. You are a wrestler. The end.
Wait, so he's won the match, but he's... Oh, sorry, I forgot.
It's okay. Quick timestamp on that one. No, it's fine. Yeah, I think this was... They kept doing stuff like this, you know, like, let's push the boundaries of what's real and what's not. Yeah, the wrestling's fake, but this guy's really hurt, you know, and stuff like that. And I think it's what switched most people off, to be honest, was because you'd either see it as like an insult to your intelligence or tasteless. There's not really a positive light to see this in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, watching Bam Bam Bigelow lie on the floor isn't qualified as entertainment. It's probably better than the match just was, but that's not saying much. But, like, it's not... there's no positive light to frame it in, is there? And he was the heel, and then suddenly we're just putting all this sympathy on him because he's just collapsed. Oh, my network just froze. What the hell?
Same. I was going to say
really?
It's just me, but yeah.
That's spooky. That's like the network's just had an issue.
Oh, well, it's back now.
Mine's not. Hang on.
I thought it was...
an error has occurred. We've been kicked out. Right, I am back at 129.05. So
same, yeah.
Okay, I will do a recount down for people to rejoin us.
Oh, did they all get booted off the network as well?
Yeah, everyone else did, yeah. Okay, so... I'm just going to keep that bit in, that was funny. So, yeah, we got booted off the network, so what you need to do, if you want to stay in time with us, pause your network. I hope you did that when we said, okay, stop. But go back to, we got booted on 1 hour, 29 minutes and 5 seconds, so we're both paused at that point. So pause this video, go back through the show and get back to 129.05, and then unpause this video, and we're going to synchronize up again. So... I'm going to assume people have done that. I can't be bothered holding around. There is a pause button on this video for a reason. So, ready, Rhys? Ready to get going again?
I'm ready.
After that little hiccup. Okay, 3, 2, 1. There it is. Okay. 20, 07, 08, 09, 10. Are we good?
Yep.
Lovely. There we go. Okay, so we were just talking about how there is no redeeming feature to this segment at all. Like, it doesn't make sense because it's a heel. We're supposed to suddenly just feel sympathy for this heel. So if you're treating it as still part of the show, it's wrong. If you're trying to fool the fans into thinking it's real, it's wrong. If it's real, the camera should not still be on him. It's wrong. there's literally no circumstance where that segment is a positive for WCW and the fans would appreciate it that I can think of.
But
Unless
speaking
there's
of
some fans
positives,
out there that really hate Bam Bam Bigelow. But yeah, Buff Bagwell.
Freudian slip.
Oh, the best one ever. Thank you, Buff. I like how he's not lost a step, though. he ain't flustered, is he?
No.
I mean, he just talked about his ruptured multiple genitalia, and he's not even fussed. The one thing I would say, I was going to say it, but I thought, let him say his thing, and I'm glad we did. Buff Bagwell, as a face, again, just, no. I mean, the one thing I do appreciate about it is they didn't change anything about his character. Too many times, a heel gets popular, and then they completely water down the character to turn them face, and then they're not as popular, and they're like, huh, what happened here? But at least Buff's still the same arrogant Buff, he's just fighting heels, but I just don't see a redeeming quality that you're supposed to cheer for with Buff Bagwell. I like Buff Bagwell, but as a character, I don't see what you're supposed to like about him. Why are we still showing this? If it's real, why are we showing it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Real, like, is he like? I don't know. Is he like
I'm fairly sure it was a work. I'm fairly sure that wasn't real. I mean, suspicious timing if it was real. Like immediately after the 3 count. Bam Bam Bigelow. Here's how I Google things. I Google them out loud. Bam Bam Bigelow Mayhem 2000. Oh, look at that! It's a suggestion. Who'd have thunk it? So, I might need to search for injury. Let's see what this is saying. I just read the preview. It says, the only other thing to note was the crowd is completely confused by the Bam Bam Bigelow thing. So, that sounds like it's going to be a good recap. Let's have a look.
Unless he's like... I'm thinking, like, if it was a work, it surely wouldn't go on for this long. Like...
Yeah, I don't remember. If it was real, they really should not be showing it for that amount of time. Do you know what's excellent about Major Guns' heel turn? Is she stopped wearing the Canadian flag. All the time she didn't want to be in Team Canada and she was still a face, she was wearing the Canadian flag on her bikini. Now she's actually on board. Lance Storm's cool with her not wearing it. Like, seriously, if this is a real injury, they did not just send the next match out there. Even WCW, in year 2000, did not just send Lance Storm out to cut a promo with a potentially dying guy on the edge of the ring. There's no way. There's no way. Like, I mean, I won't listen to Lance, so let's go. Hey, you said it right.
I ruptured a disc which fragmented into my spinal column.
Good reference. I like it. Oh, yes, here we go. Love it. Love it. There's a pop from me. Yes, love it. Calgary. Alberta, Canada. I have no idea why he chose to say it with that cadence, but I love that he did. I love it. It's a good job he didn't say disc wrong, isn't it, when he was saying bulging before it? That really would have got the crowd on him. Like, I don't think you can make it through that promo if you say that wrong. So, what I don't... So, I talked before about a thing that grinds my gears in wrestling was the tagging in and out thing when it's a no DQ match. Here's another one, is heel turns like this Major Guns one. She was reluctant. She even helped, at the last show, she helped Misfits in Action win that match. She was screwing over Team Canada from the inside. And then, bam, change of heart. Yeah, no, actually.
Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, but it happens far too often in wrestling. And the ones I really hate is like, was it? I can't remember which one it was. It was either Austin or Angle during the invasion, where they fought an entire match. They kicked the holy hell out of the other team for like half an hour. Oh, yeah, it was a work.
Wait, what?
Oh my god, that's what Lance Storm and Bam Bam Bigelow were talking about backstage. Okay. I think I just found a redeeming feature. Wow, what the hell? I mean, still utterly tasteless to present it like that, but at least it was Bam Bam Bigelow, the heel, being tasteless, not WCW being tasteless, as in within kayfabe. You know what I mean? Like, it sort of takes the heat off WCW a bit and puts it on Bam Bam.
Like, I don't know, because of like the way he went down and just like how long he stopped. Yeah. It was like he almost like he had a heart attack or something.
Yeah, he just crumpled, but good actor. There you go. That's why he's the best big man one of the best big men in history. That acting though. Wow. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, the whole like when I think it was Stone Cold, he spent the entire match kicking the hell out of the Alliance, and then turns heel on him and joins them at the end. If I was the Alliance, I'd be like, could you not have done that earlier? Like, did you have to beat us up for half an hour before doing that? Like, how many times did you punch me in the face and now you're my friend? Like, no, be gone. You are not my friend.
You know, that's something I always like, is when there is a turn where, like, when they're in a match with like, what am I thinking now? When I was watching when Aces and Eights formed.
Yeah.
With Bully Ray, like, I don't think he got like any offense in that match.
Yeah, that's the clever way to do it, is to somehow keep them out of it. My personal favourite, because it's not particularly clever, but it's a foolproof way of doing it, is they get found backstage, taken out. And then the whole ruse is obviously, no, they were just lying down backstage. They're pretending they'd been taken out so they didn't have to fight their new friends. Like, I just like that. It's just basic storytelling 101. You know, like, that's just fun. But, like, when they wrestle the whole match first and beat the hell out of the other team, and then suddenly, I've had a change of heart. It's like, no. It's rubbish. I hate it. I really do. But things I love about wrestling? Start the list with Lance Storm. Why not? Like... Like, I think we talked, I don't know if we talked about it in the review on your channel, so I don't know if it ever made to air, or if we only talked about it in the watch-along, about how few people actually get Lance Storm. Like, you still see people today in wrestling groups on Facebook, or people on Twitter, being like, but he had no charisma. It's like, no, he had loads of charisma. His gimmick was having no charisma, and he was damn good at it. His gimmick was overly serious, and it was really good. It was really good comedic timing, you know, like, if anything.
I saw someone earlier today, they tweeted saying that they tweeted something at Lance Storm and he like laughed at it or something.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh, it must be funny when Lance Storm laughed at it. And I was just thinking, like, I'm sure he's just like a normal guy. Like, this thing is like a character.
It was just a gimmick, yeah. I saw one on Twitter one time where someone put something like, they quote tweeted it and said, like, when did Lance Storm become so, like, funny?
His feet, what are those things by his feet? They're like ready meals or something, like those microwave trays.
What? I don't know, where we're looking. I didn't spot anything there. In the front row, like in the left corner. I don't know, I didn't see him in time. But yeah, like, I saw someone, like, tweet Lance Storm saying, when did you develop a personality or something, you know, something like that. And I think he just replied, like, 2007 or something. I was like, that's amazing. You know, like, what an answer. Yeah. But it was funny seeing how many people did jump on them going, you know it was a gimmick, right? You know he wasn't actually just the world's most boring man. That was the gimmick, like... It's like people do the same with Steve Blackman, and I'm like, Steve Blackman was a great straight guy to the funny guy he was paired with, like him and Al Snow. Part of what was funny about him and Al Snow was Steve Blackman, like, hating it. That was a big part of the humour, you know. Oh, and look at that, Lance Storm, perfect. He's a slapstick guy.
Uh-oh.
Oh. It's gonna ruin her weekend. Oh, Matt Madden. Swing and a miss. Didn't get the leg, but got the other one. Now, if I know Lance Storm, he'll be selling that for the rest of the match now. Every so often he'll just wince and grab, like, and, like, grab down there. That's why I love Lance Storm. It's not just his character stuff. I genuinely think he's, like, one of the most underrated in-ring guys ever. Like, he doesn't even get mentioned in the underrated guys category. You know, like, you always get your Dean Malenkos and stuff said in that category, don't you? But, like,
yeah.
no one ever talks about Lance Storm, and I think he's great.
I think Lance Storm was, a bit more successful than Malenko, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, but the scary thing is, he kind of was. He was in ECW, but in WCW, this whole Team Canada run, the whole thing was something like, I think he said once, it was like 5 months long, and it's like the most memorable thing he ever did. Like, it wasn't that long of a successful run, really, with actual material to work with, in WCW at least. And then in WWE, he was always just Canadian guy in Canadian team. Like, he still made the most of the time they gave him, but he was more successful than Malenko, but I still think he's grossly underrated.
He won the Intercontinental Championship, and like this, I know he calls it the Canadian Championship, but like that US title, that is like, the same US title, the same WWE now.
Yeah, but
so I guess he's like, like had some pretty big titles, I guess.
Yeah, but he won the Oval Intercontinental title, which, everyone won that. Like, for some reason, they decided in the Attitude Era that didn't matter. They brought in the European title and then treated it exactly the same as the IC title, which is both didn't really matter. Like, any old mid-carder could hold those belts. Like, whereas before that, it was like a proper stepping stone. Like, the majority of people who won the IC title ended up winning the world title at some point, but then they just started putting it on Val Venus and D'Lo Brown, and it was like, well, they're not going to win the world title. Like, Stone Cold's right there. Oof. Is it meant to be a headbutt? That's twice he's hit it like that now. I always thought it was a straight up moonsault, but last month he hit it with the head as well. If his move's genuinely a moonsault headbutt, that is some precision from a guy that big to do a moonsault and then hit it with the head. That's impressive.
I don't know if I've been, like, editing too many videos, but I can tell that, like, this song has been dubbed over as well. It just doesn't.
It's not the same volume.
Well, it's not in the arena. It's like, it's not echoey enough.
Yeah. But this is the weird thing. This was their music. But I agree, it sounds dubbed.
Oh wait, this actually was the theme?
Yeah, this was their theme, but I agree it sounds dubbed. You can tell on the network, because they don't always mix it perfectly, so you can't hear the commentators as clearly. Because if you think about it, on the broadcast, the music is under the commentators. The commentators are talking over the background track that includes the music.
Yeah.
Whereas when they dub it over, the commentators are in the background track now, and the music gets put over that, and it has to be loud enough to drown out the music in the background track. So you can never quite hear the commentators, like, properly. Like, they're always a bit less clear.
Yeah.
Oh, do you see that that microphone make its way into shot then? At the top of the screen.
Yeah, there's still 4 matches to go.
3 matches?
4.
4. Okay, so we've got Steiner and this hasn't. I'm gonna go out on a limb early here and say this has not been as good a show as Halloween Havoc.
No, it hasn't. Like, it's been alright, but
it's been alright. We've had a laugh, but
like
Halloween Havoc was non-stop just entertainment. I loved pretty much every minute of that, from what I remember. Like, whereas this has had quite a few lulls and bits where I've just not really cared much about what's happening, so we've ended up talking about completely different things to fill the time.
This was the third lowest WCW pay-per-view buy rate ever.
Third lowest ever. Wow.
But saying that though, Halloween Havoc, like the one we did last month, was 7th.
Yeah, they were sliding like by. It's one of those things as well where like the buy rate doesn't reflect the quality of the show because people make the decision to buy it before it happened.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, if anything, it sort of reflects on the quality of the show about 2 or 3 months before, because that's how long it takes for people to sort of get back into the product and be like, okay, I'll drop some money on this pay-per-view. You know, like if they hear there's been a good show, they'll watch a couple of months and then be like, okay, yeah, I'm into this. But the Nitros and Thunders were probably so chaotic and hard to follow that having a good pay-per-view probably didn't affect future buy rates anymore because people had watched Nitro and be like, no, I can't do this. So, yeah, they had the formula all wrong. They needed to do Nitros like Halloween Havoc to sell pay-per-views. Like, not with the same number of title matches and stuff, but the same sort of pacing and quality of show. So we've not seen Jarrett, we've not seen Goldberg, so I'm guessing Goldberg's involved. It's Jarrett and Buff, isn't it? We've got Steiner and Booker.
Yeah.
Goldberg's gonna have a match, I would imagine.
And there's a tag title match. I can't remember who's in it.
It's the Insiders, DDP and Kevin Nash. I think it was advertised at the start of the show. I think when they were talking about what's coming up, wasn't it them against the Natural Born Thrillers?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Palumbo and O'Hare. And so it's just the Goldberg match that's a mystery. I'm guessing there's a Goldberg match.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is.
So, who could he be fighting?
Chronic?
No, Chronic wrestled. Vampiro's out. We saw last time. He got that awesome bomb. There's no way he came back from that this quick. That was a hell of a head smash. Sting's out at the moment, I think, in story, so it won't be Sting. Who could
Lex Luger.
Lex Luger? Yeah. Is that the actual answer?
Yeah.
Is that, I guess? Oh, okay. I was working my way around to Lex because I was going through who's the main event scene or thereabouts, so I'd have got there in the end, maybe.
It's crazy because I didn't watch wrestling until 2001, like 2002 times. So anything before that, I've just got no idea what happened when. And Lex Luger, I had no idea he was wrestling up until this point.
Yep. Yeah, he was there. He was there on the last night, so I believe.
Because like when I started watching, there's so many people like Jarrett, Goldberg, Luger, Sting, like who I just like had no idea of. Well, I knew Sting obviously, and I knew Goldberg, but like I couldn't see them anywhere. I find watching wrestling from before my time weird because if you see, so like I did watch-alongs recently of Survivor Series 95 and then Survivor Series 2000 straight after. Yeah.
And it was weird because I was like, it's weird that this is only 5 years apart, but I think there was only about 7 people that were on both shows or something. I can't remember what the exact number was, but there was very few people. But it was weird watching 95, which is before my time, and there was a Survivor Series team that was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Dr. Isaac Yankem, Jerry the King Lawler, and I was like, oh my god, Triple H, Kane, and the color commentator from my childhood. Like what's this team? Like what is happening here? You know? It's just it's weird, especially when they've got different gimmicks or something to what you remember. Fun fact for you that I noticed during the watch-alongs: no one won on both Survivor Series 95 and Survivor Series 2000.
Oh, yeah.
Not one person won a match on both shows, no. Because I sort of clocked it early in 2000, because that was the second watch-along I did. So I started sort of trying to keep track of it, and yeah, no one that won on 95 won on 2000, or vice versa. Like, which I thought was kind of weird. Like, for only 5 years apart, you wouldn't assume the main event scene and who's getting the major push and stuff would change that quickly, because I think it's because we're used to these days where they milk something for as long as they can. Like, for perspective, like, that's 5 years. Roman Reigns has been a main eventer for longer than that.
Oh, yeah.
And I still think of Roman Reigns as new to the main event scene, but he's not. He's been there for like 7 years or something ridiculous now.
I think like
5 or 6.
Roman Reigns, he's new in that like I don't know how to say it. Like he's new in that like I now accept him as a top tier.
Yeah, he's new in feeling like he should be there.
Yeah. Even though like he's main evented WrestleMania multiple times.
Yeah.
Before that, it's only the past couple of years like I've really like accepted him.
Yeah, it's this gimmick that's made me like. I mean, I was never a big Roman Reigns hater. I cheered him at WrestleMania 34. I'm 31 actually. Like.
Yeah, I want to make clear, like I never anything against the guy. It was always just like the way, they seen at him basically.
Yeah, and I got people's problems with it, but I always said Roman Reigns was both underrated and overrated. WWE overrated him, and the fans underrated him. Everyone was like, "Oh, he's terrible. He's a mid-carder. He's not." And it's like, no, behave yourself. He's not. He's actually pretty damn good. He's just not. He just doesn't need the push that WWE are giving him. That's what I have a problem with.
It's like I never didn't like him. I didn't like how he'd be in a match and he'd be like, I just feel like, well, this is pointless watching because he's going to win. Like, there's no chance at all that he's going to lose. Like, he'd be in a 4-on-1 handicap match against the League of Nations, and I'd just be like, there's no point even watching this because he's going to eliminate them all one by one.
Yep. Yeah. I 100% understand his problems with his booking. I hated his booking, but like people just went overboard with it.
One of the moments I marked out, like I think it was like Survivor Series like 16 or 17 or something, when Sheamus cashed in the Money in the Bank and beat him.
Was that 5th? I think that was 15.
50? Oh my god.
Yeah, I think they talked about it on Survivor Series.
They did, because you know what? I completely forgot about it until they mentioned it.
Yeah, I clocked that moment. I clocked that bit of commentary because it was early in the show, so I was still sort of switched on. Still sort of paying attention. And yeah, it was when they were talking about Sheamus and saying he's got a good history with Survivor Series, and it was 2015 when he cashed in. Yeah. Which is mad. That's 5 years ago when Roman Reigns was world champion then getting cashed in on. And it's like... So there's as long between those two events as there was between Survivor Series 95 and 2000, but the main event scene just completely transitioned, and the entire roster completely transitioned. Like I say, there's only about 7 people that were shared between the two shows, which especially for Survivor Series, where they use a lot more talent because there's all these multi-man matches, is insane.
But fusing the foam guitar, I guess not gonna.
The best weapons are foam. Do you not know this, Reese? Come on, that's a brutal shot with the piece of foam. Are there any rules in this match? Like he's just choking him with a cable, or he just kicked him in the balls? Is there any rules in this one?
I'm gonna say no DQ, but I don't know. We'll see what happens here now.
All the matches are normal matches until they start hitting each other with stuff, and then it's like, oh, maybe it's no DQ. It's like ECW without the transparency about, no, there's no rules. At least ECW were like open about it. They were like, yeah, we're not going to disqualify anyone for anything. Whereas WCW was like, oh yeah, they're giving them a bit of leeway here. It's like, just say they can do what they want. Like,
yeah, my in TNA, you could win the belts by disqualification, but you'd never ever have disqualifications because it was always that. It was like, oh, big championship match, big stakes on the line, referees allowing leeway because he knows how much this means to the competitors.
Yeah, leeway here meaning 14 consecutive chair shots. It's like, that's more than leeway, mate.
Until like once randomly then it was a DQ and the belt changed and everyone was like, what is going on? This has never happened.
This isn't in our rule book, is it?
Like, Sting was the champion, and Abyss like pushed him off a stage through a table, and like, oh no, sorry, the other way around. Sting pushed Abyss off through a table, and then referee called a DQ, and then like Abyss was the champion.
Of all the innocuous things, pushing someone and they happen to land on a table, does it? But Abyss probably brought in his little baseball bat with barbed wire at some point in that match, and the referee was like, yeah, no, that's probably fine. That's probably fine. God, you know what's weird about WCW watching these shows
What's
is
that?
you look at those like opening couple of matches and how much talent was like really young talent was in that cruiserweight like match, the six man one. Like they were probably all below 25. Like, you know what I mean? They were super young. And like then the next tier up where they're like in the late 20s, early to mid 30s, you've got like your Jeff Jarrett's and your Buff Bagwells and and people like that.
Yeah,
And your Booker T's and you just think if WCW had survived, they had such a good next generation of like talent, like waiting to become megastars and fight WWE again, but they were just run so badly. Like between the constant changes in bookers and the choices of who they put in charge, and then TNT constantly screwing them over, they had no chance. But in terms of talent, they had a hell of a chance. If they'd have just got someone competent and who cared about them in charge, good grief, they could have been a force. Like, they had talent. Like, I don't think they had the star quality levels that WWF had. You know, no one on WCW had like the sheer unmatched charisma of an Austin or a Rock, but they had some damn good in-ring talent and some people that could cut promos and play a character. Like, they weren't lacking on that. They were only a slight level behind WWF in terms of the future kind of thing. But yeah, they were just run into the ground by management. It's kind of a shame when you watch it. Kind of like I'd like to have seen what they've done with good. Like, I'd like to have seen what would have happened if WWF had gone with their plan of actually keeping them as a separate brand.
Yeah, because
it would have been a damn good show with someone competent running it, which WWF were competent at the time.
Do you know what's crazy though? Is like even watching this, it feels like 5 years before it actually was because of things like the barricades it's just like that fence.
Yeah.
Rather than like an actual barricade like this. Stuff like the mats on the outside of a ring as well.
The production quality feels old. Yeah. Yeah, I get you. Feels dated. Yeah, I'm trying to think what Survivor Series 2000 looked like in terms of presentation. Like, the set was more impressive for starters. That was the one with the target symbol in the O on Survivor Series. You know, the green sort of crosshairs.
I'll pull it up now and have a look.
Yeah, it was definitely ahead of this in terms of production quality, like by quite a bit.
2000, you said, yeah?
Yeah, Survivor Series 2000. Just sort of trying to compare like to like, comparing the November pay-per-views kind of thing. But like, yeah, imagine this show or this roster with WWF booking, with WWF production, like their video team and their live production team and Jim Johnston writing people new music that needed it, that wasn't a Nirvana ripoff and people not being able to run rampant backstage with their egos and stuff. It could have been such a damn good show.
Well, yeah, because look, like how many people from WCW went on to be like champions in WWE afterwards?
Like Booker T. Did Scott Steiner ever win the world title off Triple H? I know he was. I know he dominated Triple H in the feud, but I don't think he ever actually won, did he?
No, he was dead on arrival. He came in, had one match with Triple H at the Rumble 2003, and it sucked. And then he just went to the mid card and feuded with Test.
Goldberg did. Are we talking only people that were still around now, or are we talking like ever? Because we've got obviously Benoit, Guerrero, Jericho. They all went on to make huge names in WWE.
Mysterio's still here.
That was a great bump. But yeah, like just the main breakout star that WWE had from this era of WCW was Booker T. Like Goldberg, you can't really count; he was already a star. But and so was Booker T to an extent, but I think the person elevated most by moving to WWE was Booker T.
Do you know I didn't know that David Flair was only like 19 or 20 when this happened?
Yeah, he was super young when he got into it, yeah.
He could like come back now and still be under 40.
Yeah. It'd still be like in the mid range of WWE's roster because they've got so many guys now that are like in their early 40s that are still just wrestling.
I say like
late 30s.
50 is the new 40. Because you know the hurt business, they're like 44, 45, and 46 or something.
Yeah, and then Cedric is like 26 or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's crazy because you watch if you watch back you mentioned before the Austin 316 promo. If you watch the build to that King of the Ring, they're going on so much about how old and over the hill Jake the Snake Roberts is. I think he was like 41 or something, and it's like AJ Styles right now is like 43.
Mm.
It's mad how the perception has changed, you know. And they used to mock WCW for having Hogan as the main eventer, and again he was in his like early 40s at that point. You know, like it's just changed. Oh my god, Jeff nearly forgot to kick out of that.
Yeah, what was that? That was like a count
referee
from
had to
referee.
like stop. Yeah, referee had to stop the count because Jeff forgot to kick out.
Stop the count. Donald Trump is refereeing.
Very nice. But yeah, I just can't. Just watching this match, it's a really fun match. Like they're telling a story, they're doing the thing. They've got psychology, they've got clear face and heel. Like it's just a good match. It's a solid match. This, and I don't think I expected anything else from these two particularly. But like, I mean, how the referee doesn't see the piece of guitar every time, I don't know.
Well, he's turning a blind eye after Buff shoved him, I bet.
Yeah. Wait, he's obviously in Jeff Jarrett's back pocket because he just paused the count as well to let him kick out. But yeah, it's just crazy like how good WCW could have been. And then I know we genuinely enjoyed Halloween Havoc, but let's be honest, it was also we enjoyed it because it was such an entertainingly bad product with good performances by the talent, but the product was bad. You know what I mean? Like, the booking and everything was bad. It was just the wrestlers did their utmost to make it decent. That was WCW in a nutshell. Your belts, and it zooms in on the Cruiserweight title. Yeah, that's the one Kevin Nash.
Well, this guy just loves the Cruiserweight title. Like, he did the same in TNA as well. He was like an X Division champion.
Was he? I didn't even know he was in TNA. Mike Sanders was in TNA.
No, Kevin Nash.
Oh, no. That's the thing, is they zoomed in on the wrong belt. He was like, I got a partner, and we want a shot at your belts. And then it zoomed in on the Cruiserweight title. It's like, that is not the one he meant.
Right, okay.
That is not the belt he was talking about. Obviously, he's like 7 foot tall and like 300 pounds. And also, how can he and a partner win that belt? I mean, it's WCW, so anything can happen. Maybe DDP and Kevin Nash could co-hold the Cruiserweight title, you know.
You say co-holds?
Hey?
I don't think one of them is in the weight limit, let alone both of them together.
Yeah, no. Yeah, if Crash Holly's 400 pounds, then they're both under 225 combined. Did he actually... Oh, no, the X Division wasn't weight class based. I feel like there has been an instance, I can't remember which company it was or who it was or anything, but it's ringing a bell that someone far too big to be Cruiserweight champion was, like, holding it and, like, refusing to get weighed and...
Oklahoma.
Did Oklahoma hold it? Is that who I'm thinking of?
Yeah, Oklahoma was the Cruiserweight champion.
Oh, yeah, and didn't Medusa win it off him?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
He won it off Medusa. No,
oh, right,
he won it off Medusa.
Right.
He stole it off Medusa, and then he had the belt even though she was the champion. I think, and then I think he beat her.
Why? Why did any of that sentence happen? Why? I mean, we could have just stuck to the word Oklahoma and said, why did that happen?
Yeah.
Because Stevie Ray, like, I will end you, boy. You say one wrong word, I will just jab you in the mouth. I used to love DDP. when I switched over to WWF, I was like, who is this rock guy calling himself the People's Champion? Does no one know the People's Champion is DDP? Like, because I was so blind to WWF until I like got switched onto it in high school by like my friends. But I was like, they stole his gimmick. It's like, no. Wolfpack music, yes.
Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah. Arguably the best wrestling music in at least WCW history.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Yeah, such good music. You can't say in wrestling history, because WWE have had some absolute bangers, but in WCW history, no, they never topped the Wolfpack music. It was great.
Did you not hear the 3 count song earlier? I can't believe that was the same show. That feels like a different show, even.
Yeah, I can't believe this watch along. We've been going for 3.5 months now.
This is like the pay-per-view with the most matches I've ever seen. I don't know how they're fitting it all on, to be fair, because it's not like an overly long show.
No, do you not feel like it's making the show feel long though?
Well,
because we're like
lots of matches.
Yeah, because we're used to pay-per-view matches generally going like 15 minutes or so. So if they had done that, this show would be 7 hours long. So because in your head you're kind of counting matches, or subconsciously you're sort of at least aware there's been a lot. It feels like a really long show, and it's only just been like 2.25 hours or something.
This is me on TW when I'm trying to get all my roster onto a show.
Yeah. It doesn't help that it hasn't been the best quality show. That's helping it feel a bit like it's dragging.
But
there's been some highlights, don't get me wrong, but this has not lived up to Halloween Havoc. I was expecting great things from this show.
Halloween Havoc was like, I don't know, it was like a variety show. Like each match was different, and there was something. I mean, to be fair, Halloween Havoc, 3 of the matches were the same match.
Yeah, the first 3 matches just kind of ran into it. There was no entrances in between or anything. It was just like, oh, someone else was run down, we're having another fight. Okay, cool. Ring the bell. Referee's like, ring the bell. The timekeeper's like, why? Referee's like, I don't know. Just ring the bell.
I remembered what I was going to say to you earlier now. But earlier today, I saw a video on YouTube. This guy called Marky D reviewed every Sean O'Haire match.
Every Sean O'Haire match?
Yeah. Well, every Sean O'Haire match in WWE, I think it was.
I mean, that can't have been a long video, because I don't think he did that much. And how did he find the experience?
I think he enjoyed it.
Yeah, I am puzzled by Sean O'Haire never making it. He looked so much like a Vince guy. I thought he was pretty decent in his Devil's Advocate. I think we had this conversation during Halloween Havoc, but this is new to the listeners. His Devil's Advocate gimmick, I thought he was pretty good at. Maybe I need to rewatch it and make sure I'm not remembering that with rose-tinted goggles, but to me, I don't remember it being cringy and awful. I remember him being quite good at it. He was athletic, he could wrestle. He, like I say, body-wise, he was a Vince guy. Look at the size and shape of him. Like, I just don't understand how he didn't make it.
Do you remember Chuck Palumbo on a bike?
Yes. Yes, I remember American Badass Chuck Palumbo. Yeah. Also, Chuck Palumbo got like... Did he get the most like repackages per month on the roster? Because there was the initial Chuck Palumbo where he was basically still this Chuck Palumbo. There was the biker. There was Billy and Chuck. I think he went back to this Palumbo after Billy and Chuck. Like, he must have, considering he wasn't there that long, he had a lot of repackages. Like, people have had more repackages, but they've been over like 20 years. He like had about 4 gimmicks in about the 2 years he was there. Because, like, for comparison, he joined in 2001. Billy and Chuck was 2002. So he'd already, like, completely transitioned a year later. And I don't think he was still there in, like, 2004. I don't feel like he was around in that era. So...
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Did he go and come back? Or... Because I swear the biker thing was later, but maybe it wasn't.
I don't know, but... I feel like he might have just felt like that because, they took him off TV for a few months, so we wouldn't remember Billy and Chuck when he came out as a biker. We'd be like, oh, who's this new guy? Because obviously WWE is aware of every wrestling fan's short-term memory issues.
Oh, he was in the FBI as well.
He was in the... Oh! Yeah! That's crazy. Like, there's even more gimmicks than we remember. Oh my god. Yeah, he definitely had the most gimmicks per, month in WWE ever. He must have done. Distinct gimmicks as well. He still had the same name, but they were distinct gimmicks. It wasn't like, oh, it's a heel turn, it's a different gimmick. They were genuinely different characters, that he was playing. You could argue, you could say The Rock had, but really, was Hollywood Rock a different gimmick, or was it a natural extension of Cocky Rock and he just happens to have done movies now? I don't feel like it was a different gimmick. I feel like it was an evolution of a gimmick.
Yeah, I feel
Whereas Chuck Palumbo disappeared for 2 months, came back, did a gimmick for 2 months, disappeared for 2 months, and repeat, basically.
The Hollywood Rock was well, it is what I said. The Rock had gone to Hollywood, come back, and now he's, I'm too big for this company, I'm a huge megastar.
Yeah, it was still The Rock, there was no, whereas you can't say Billy and Chuck was the same character as Biker Chuck. It just wasn't, it was just obviously a different gimmick. And it didn't get presented as a continued story either. Whereas Hollywood Rock was still The Rock and things from his past were still referenced and, and stuff like that. Whereas Chuck Palumbo, none of his gimmicks ever acknowledged each other. They were different people, basically.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else has had a lot of gimmicks. I'm struggling to think.
Mick Foley had a load and wasn't actually around that long when you think about it, but still doesn't get anywhere close. He joined in 96, and he had a match at WrestleMania in 2004, so he's well longer than Chuck Palumbo with his 4 gimmicks. Who else had a load of distinct gimmicks?
I've got one for you.
Go on.
The Godfather.
Oh, you see, if you include all the time after the Godfather debuted, where he basically kept the same gimmick, he was there a long time, but he changed a lot in a short amount of time before that. There was Kama Mustafa, there was Papa Shango, was there another one before Godfather? I feel like I'm missing one.
Well, he was the Godfather, then wasn't he the Goodfather?
Yeah, but again, I would count the Goodfather as an extension of the Godfather. He was heel, right to censor Godfather. It was obviously the same gimmick, just being denied. He was a denier of his own. Whereas Godfather was not an extension of Papa Shango. It was a different wrestler. Do you know what I mean? That's where I sort of draw the line. There was no back reference whatsoever. It wasn't like he occasionally came out with his whole train or with Papa Shango's face paint on or something.
It would be funny if you did that.
Yeah. Wasn't there a wrestling game where you could customize who the hoes were in Godfather's entrance? I seem to remember that. You could give him any wrestler as his hose. I think on the current ones you can do that with Goldberg's entrance with the security guards, but it was much funnier with the hose. You could have Undertaker and Kane as his hose or something. It was great.
I just want MJF as... Oh no, he wasn't Goldberg's.
Samoa Joe,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I've got to say, that thing, I don't necessarily like all the shots AEW take at WWE. I think there's too many. I think in moderation it's funny, but I think they've just overdone it now. But the one that I really, really genuinely popped for was when MJF pushed that security guard into the wall. No, not security guard, it was one of his cabinet people, wasn't he, when he was campaigning against Moxley. And he walked out and he just shoved one of them into the wall, and I was like, oh, thank you, that was amazing. That was amazing just because of, there's only a certain type of wrestling fan would have picked up on that. All the casuals, no idea. No idea that was even a reference. It wasn't, it was so veiled that only if you watch NXT and recognise MJF from that scene, or spend any time on the internet and have been made aware of that, would you know? Most casual fans don't know, don't care. And I just really enjoyed it for that. Whereas all the other ones are a bit too on the nose, they sort of do it, then look at the camera and wink and smile, and then, you know what I mean? And whereas that one, it was just it was a split second moment, not even referenced by commentary or anything. It was just beautiful. I loved it. Oof. DDP getting a smack across the chops there. One for you, Kev. So I was sad when they kicked out Coach Kev. I enjoyed Kevin Nash's Coach Kev days. It was great. He was like the Natural Born Thrillers coach, and he wore a baseball cap and had a whistle and stuff. He was great.
It sounds
used to just berate them for everything they did wrong in a match.
It sounds like, again, I'm going to say it sounds like the exact same thing he was doing in TNA when he was with the Paparazzi Productions.
Kevin Nash just went to TNA, was like, hey, you know what worked, but no one was watching, so we can get away with doing this again. My entire run in WCW in 2000 and 2001 was actually low-key pretty good, but no one was watching. Let's do it again. That's genuinely really good. Everything I say, you're like, yeah, he did that in TNA. It's like, you seen the South Park episode where it's like, Simpsons did it. It's like Kevin Nash comes to like whoever was writing TNA at the time, and they're like, didn't WCW do that? No. No, definitely not. Oh,
jeez.
Full moon. There's a reference for only our British fans. I don't think that was an international advert. That's the point. A Jaffa Cake's an international thing. Do other countries have Jaffa Cakes?
I don't know. I don't really understand Jaffa Cakes because they're so dry.
Yeah, I'm not the world's biggest fan. I will say, now they've released different flavours, like they've re-released different flavours. The strawberry ones are kind of nice. I like the jelly and the strawberry.
They're good. I will say, I had, what did I have recently? Cherry ones, possibly?
Yeah, they're alright. My favourites is the strawberry, but yeah, the cherry ones are okay. There's lemon and lime as well.
With a cup of tea, to make it, wet. No, I'm not saying dip it in the cup of tea, but just with, some
to make it less dry.
To sip on afterwards, yeah, amazing, but...
Yeah, it's weird because...
Dry.
Yeah, there's two weird things about Jaffa Cakes. The first one is that everyone debates are they cakes or biscuits. They're literally called cakes. Why is there a debate? And also, they go hard when they go off, which makes them cakes. Biscuits go soft when they go off.
Yeah, that was
the definition. Yeah,
an actual legal, it was a tax case in court.
That is by definition the difference between biscuits and cakes. Yeah, exactly, by legal definition. But besides that, the other thing is just everyone's fascination with them. I think they're okay, but I get Jaffa Cake. My missus likes Jaffa Cakes. She's not obsessed with them like some people seem to be, but she likes them. So every so often I'll pick some up. But I have never walked down the biscuit aisle, which is weird because they're on the biscuit aisle even though they're cakes and it says cakes on the box. But I've never walked down the biscuit aisle and gone, yes, that is the thing I want. There's always something else there that's more tempting, and I don't understand why people rate them so highly. Anyway, professional wrestling. That's what you get, DDP, for pulling Sean Stasiak's trunks down. That's where we got with that. But yeah, someone who's not in Great Britain, not in the UK, let me know in the comments. Do you have Jaffa Cakes?
I didn't even know what you were on about, and I've just clocked what you meant.
The advert?
Yeah.
The full moon.
I completely forgot about that advert.
Did you just think I'd gone mad? He's like, what's he talking about Jaffa Cakes for?
I was like,
because he's kind of orange?
Something before my time, even though I think we're the same age.
Well, unless you got into wrestling late, I'm going to guess I'm 3 or 4 years older than you, because I got into wrestling about 3 or 4 years before you.
I think I got in quite late.
How old were you when you got... Well, easiest question, how old are you now?
28.
Oh, I see. Yeah, wow, that's a guess. I'm 32, and I said 3 or 4 years older than you.
Oh, okay, exactly then.
I worked that out pretty well, didn't I? Just based on what I was given. But, you must remember the Jaffa Cakes advert. But I'm genuinely curious, because I've been to America 3 times, and I don't remember ever seeing Jaffa Cakes in the shops. But I was so tunnel vision looking for things I didn't know to try new things while I was over there, that I probably would have blinkered them out and not seen them, so I can't say they definitely weren't there. Because if I saw a box of Jaffa Cakes, my brain would have just been like, nope, find something interesting, find something new. So... But yeah, I'm curious. Someone let us know in the comments. Do you have Jaffa Cakes? That's the crucial question coming out of WCW Mayhem 2000. Does your country have Jaffa Cakes?
They have something called moon pie.
Moon pie?
It's like a big wagon wheel.
Oh, okay. So, like an original wagon wheel that neither of us are old enough to remember when they used to be, like, literally the size of a kid's tricycle wheel.
Oh,
They were massive.
They've definitely shrunk, haven't they?
Oh, yeah, they're like the size of a normal biscuit now. See, what the thing is, what happens is people blame like the company. Here we go. Here's a tangent for you. People blame the company and say, "Oh, they're trying to make more money by selling us less product." But the fact of it is, the government keeps putting up things like sugar tax. So they would have. There's two solutions. One, put the price up massively, or reduce the amount of sugar. Now, there's only so much you can do to reduce the sugar in a product that is chocolate and marshmallow.
Yeah.
So what they do is they make it smaller. That's the only solution, is because, and then they can keep the price roughly the same.
Well, yeah, because the other thing you can do is just with a Freddo keep it the same, but then the price is going to go up and up.
Yeah, now you need a mortgage to buy a Freddo. Yeah, exactly. But one I noticed recently, Mr. Kipling's cakes, you know, like the angel slices.
Oh yeah.
They've got all over the packaging now with 30% less sugar. You know what they've done? They don't have the icing on top anymore. They've just got the drizzle that went on top of the icing. I'm like, of course you've got 30% less sugar. You've taken the sugary product off it. That's cheating. That's not a new recipe. That's not a clever trick. That's you've just removed the sugary thing. It's just, anyway, I was annoyed by that. I didn't buy them on that principle.
So, did you see the guy McCrug cosplaying as a referee?
No! Oh yeah, look at him! Like, laziest referee cosplay ever. Couldn't even bother getting a referee shirt in his size. He, like, borrowed his dad's or something, like. Borrowed his dad's stripy shirt. I used to, sometimes sneak my Newcastle United shirt into school for backyard wrestling on the school field so I could be the referee. It was on days where I didn't feel like taking bumps. I'd be like, hey, I got my referee shirt, I can ref.
Oh, I thought that was some great camera work.
Yeah, that was really good camera work and a really good false finish. And he still got him. What the hell was the point of that? It went from really good to why did they bother? Oh, that's amazing. I mean, it puts the jackknife over big, I guess, but did it need putting over in 2000? Was anyone not aware that it's a pretty devastating move? He beat Goldberg with it. There was no cattle prod involved, just a jackknife. But, you know. I just... That was such good camera work, like you said, and such a good false finish, and then they were like, no, it's actually the real finish. Swerve, bro! I wonder who booked that. There he is. Lex Luger, from being like 25, always to me looked like an old lady.
An old lady?
Yeah, like, look at him just from the neck up. He's got like this, he's got that haircut that like women get when they get to a certain age and they're like, this is long hair is too much maintenance, I'm getting a short haircut.
Right,
so
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It just looks like an old lady to me. He's had his deep forehead wrinkles since he was about 16, I think. Like, he's always just looked a bit old in the face. He just looks like an old lady, except the 5 o'clock shadow. Wait, the last show, didn't Lex Luger turn on Buff Bagwell? After Buff's match, didn't he come out and hug him and then attack him?
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, so why is the match here not Buff Bagwell and Lex Luger? They both just forgot about that issue after?
Did it on Nitro or something, I don't know.
Oh. Wow, they were ahead of their time, WCW. Took WWE about another 15 years to start hot-shotting feuds that badly. I always want to learn this, and I never actually look it up, how long this streak actually was, because it was, like, really, really grossly embellished.
Yeah, they say like, 173, but... I don't know.
No, there's no way it was that close. I've heard estimates that are, like, closer to, like, 100. Like, it was nowhere near. Like, it's still impressive, like, don't get me wrong, but it was like every week they'd had about 5 on, but they'd only had 3 house shows in the week and stuff like that. It was, like, so grossly inflated. And Goldberg was only on 2 of them or something. So it's like, where's his other wins come from?
So I loved how they always brought this guy in to announce the main event, but
Yeah.
it does seem like a bit of a waste of money to have him there just for like
They didn't care
a
about
couple of
money. They had
minutes.
TNT money, didn't they? Like, but yeah, no, it worked for me as a kid. I knew it was showtime when Michael Buffer was on the screen. Like, he probably got the biggest pop of anyone from me as a kid watching this. Like, not this, but 97, 98 when I actually watched WCW. Michael Buffer was like my favorite wrestler.
Wait, what? He said something else.
It's not even the main event. It's not even the world title match, is it?
Oh no, it's not. Yeah.
It's the real main event. It's the maybe he'll announce both. He did do 2 matches on some shows, so maybe we'll get him for both. Although maybe Michael Buffer in his contract does not agree to be in the ring at the same time as Scott Steiner, so like he's doing this one instead. Like, if you're an outsider that just comes in and you're not 100% sure which bits are real and which bits are fake, I would have it written into my contract not to be in the ring with Scott Steiner as well.
Have you ever seen UFC?
I have seen bits. I'm not the biggest fan. I've watched an occasional highlight package on YouTube, and I remember I remember watching a UFC or some MMA show when I was like 9 or 10 with my dad, when it was like really new to TV, like really just starting to become like a thing that people were aware of, except people in the business kind of thing. And I remember really enjoying it because like the one match I remember was some guy just literally ran across the ring and like bicycle kneed someone in the chin and just knocked them out, and I was like, okay, this is like wrestling but like faster, so I am on board. And then I watched some more and I was like, actually, no, most of the fights on this are really boring. They're just cuddling. Like, no, like I never watched it again, really.
So UFC have got this ring announcer, and I always thought it was that guy.
No, it's his brother or something, isn't it?
Yeah, but do you know what's crazy?
Or his son.
It's like it's his brother. It's
Oh.
like his half brother. So like they didn't even grow up together. Like I don't think they really knew each other.
Wow, okay.
And I just thought it was like mental how they both became announcers.
Do they half brothers? Did they share a dad? Because I'm sure
They shared a
their
dad.
a
I
ring
think they had
announcer?
different mums.
Yeah, I think their dad did this, didn't he? Did the ring announcing thing?
Or possibly that would make
I think
a bit
so.
more sense.
Yeah, I think I've heard of a third buffer. Like, well, technically a first buffer, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't know. I could be completely misremembering something there, but yeah, that's really interesting that they ended up in the same sort of career. It makes sense that they had different mums and the same dad as well if they didn't grow up together, because most kids in sort of like a divorced parent situation will grow up with their mum primarily. So that it sort of makes sense as well from a logical standpoint. Mayhem is Goldberg's middle name. Did you know that?
Exactly.
That guy with the sign bringing the facts to WCW Mayhem. I know what I'll do for a sign. I'll just make something up. Yeah, Bill Mayhem Goldberg. Why not?
I think it says a lot about this show. When you type in to Google WCW Mayhem, like the first 6 or 7 things that come up are all the video game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Yeah. Forgettable. Not bad all the way through. Like, not everything was bad, but forgettable. Fairly. I feel like I've forgotten more about this show than I have about Halloween Havoc. And we've not finished watching it yet. But I genuinely feel like I might have forgotten more details and more results and spots and stuff than I did in Halloween Havoc. Halloween Havoc was, like, super entertaining. Hey, next up, though, in this series, assuming we're going to keep this thing going, which I'm all for, Starrcade. Now, Starrcade was always such a big deal. But I can't wait to see what WCW in 2000 did with it.
So, you know when I said this was the 3rd lowest pay-per-view buy rate?
Was Starrcade first?
Well, it was 2nd.
Second. What was first? What was the lowest? Was it after this?
Agreed.
Yeah, so it was just sliding, basically. It was just sliding forevermore, wasn't it, at this point?
Yeah.
Greed was the last one, right? That was like March 2001?
Yeah, I think that was the last one. So what's
Yeah.
Starrcade? So there's 2 more in between then, I guess.
Yeah, there's I think January was Sin, and
Oh,
then
Sin,
did
yeah.
they keep Super Brawl for February, or did they change February's? I feel like Super Brawl was always February's show, but they changed a lot of them, so it might not have been.
We had Super Brawl Revenge.
Oh, so they kind of kept it. Okay. Hey, I'm gonna be sad. We've only got 4 more WCW shows to do this with. Then we're gonna have to come up with a new gimmick. But I'm
Yeah,
gonna be
but
sad.
on the plus side, it'll probably be the first time I've seen a series all the way through.
Goldberg doing the Sting no sell. I do not approve. That is Sting's. That's a massive Sting mark. I do not approve of that, Bill. Go and hand back in your middle name. You do not deserve it now. What do you reckon? There's a wrestler who I don't think I've ever heard the real name of. Lex Luger. It can't be his real name, but I don't think I've ever heard his real name. Like most wrestlers, at
Is
some
that
point,
not his real name?
It can't be. That's such a wrestling name.
Wasn't he like a... Oh no, I might be thinking of Sid. Wasn't he like a baseball star?
No, he was a bodybuilder, and he was only signed by WWF to be the face of WBF. You remember when they were launching the World Bodybuilding Federation?
Right,
and then that kind of fell through, so they just were like, well, screw it, teach him to wrestle. And then they apparently gave him about 45 minutes of lessons and then sent him out there because he was awful. He's not so bad now, but like when we're watching here, but you know, he's had 6 years of learning to sink or swim at this point, or whatever it is. You know, he has to have figured it out by now.
Well, yeah, when you know, like WWE contract paying as much as you can, like it is like sink or swim. You've got to do what you can to earn that money.
Oh wow! I don't even know how to say his real name.
I know. I just looked it up.
His name is Lawrence Wendell, and then it's Pfohl is his surname. I'm assuming the P's silent there, and it's like Fall or something. But what a name! What? There's like at least 2 unnecessary letters in that name. That's incredible. That's a great name. Fall. I feel like I want to sort of half pronounce the P at the beginning. You know, like Fall. I've got no idea how you're supposed to say that. He's called Lawrence. I would not look at him and go, yeah, his name's Lawrence. Like, I think he picked well by going with Lex Luger. I think that suits him better than his actual name.
Well, I got confused. Lex Luger was like the bad guy on Superman.
Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor.
Yeah, Luthor, which is probably where we got the inspiration from. Like I would guess. But like, if I had to hazard a guess, they've got to be linked. Like, too close to not be. But yeah, I was just like, I don't know Lex Luger's real name, but that can't be it. It cannot be Lex Luger. If it is, that's an insane real name. But his real one isn't much further from, like, in terms of like craziness. Great name. Isn't it weird how, like, you know, there's like certain wrestlers that like fans like to be smart with, and you know, like they'll talk about CM Punk and call him Phil, you know, to try and look at me.
That does my head in.
Yeah, me too. But like, I can't imagine anyone ever being like, "Oh, look at Bill and Lawrence going at it." I just can't imagine them ever like real naming Lex Luger, like Sting as well. I can't imagine anyone ever refers to Sting as Steve. You know, like there's certain wrestlers you just don't do it with. But yeah, another thing I really hate. Poor ref. Good grief. That was a good spear as well. Yeah, spears hurt. Have you ever been speared?
I played rugby.
Yeah, no, like yeah, but like, have you ever stood there and voluntarily taken a spear, like a pro wrestling spear, from someone who doesn't know what they're doing? Which is Goldberg. Oh, hello. Okay. That ref bump was kind of pointless then, wasn't it? Like, that match could have finished exactly the same without the ref bump. What the hell? Anyway, yeah, I took a spin. Oh my god, it knocks the wind out of you. I guarantee that referee is actually legitimately winded right now.
Oh yeah.
That was a good contact on that spear, but he didn't pull that one. And yeah, good grief, they're not fun. Well, that match was what it needed to be. Short. Like you didn't want them trying to pull out a 20-minute match. You know that was good.
But yeah, sure.
I didn't mind that match.
Didn't you feel like my kind of issue with this is it almost feels like it's separated? Like you've got Goldberg against Lex Luger, and then people like at the start of the card, you could have easily done like if Goldberg was going to squash someone.
Yeah.
He could have just squashed like I don't know. You have Goldberg squash Alex Wright.
Yeah, but okay. So on the flip side, I feel like if you swapped Alex Wright and Lex Luger, Lex Luger would probably have won the match with the Filthy Animals. There's no way he'd have let Kidman and Ray go over. But B, I feel like people would just have been like, why are you going to squash like an up-and-coming star like Alex Wright? Why not feed someone like Lex Luger who no one cares about too? You know, like, I feel like you lose either way. I
just feel like there's a big divide between like these top guys and then like the guys lower down.
Yeah, I know you mean. There's like a barrier that it doesn't feel like they can cross in the middle of the card, didn't there?
Mm.
Booker T was like the last guy to cross that barrier, and even he'd been there for like a while now. But there he is again. Oh, yeah, isn't it hanging from the ceiling, or is it on the roof or something? I can't remember. It's somewhere slightly inaccessible. Yeah, Straight Jacket Steel Cage match, a classic. Classic. I remember Terry Funk and Harley Race having one of these. No. This is a Russoism if ever I've heard one. Yeah, we could have a gimmick, bro, but why don't we have two? The thing I've noticed as a recurring theme, like your thing is absolutely correct. Now you've pointed it out, I have noticed. Yeah, there's a literal glass ceiling somewhere around the mid card that like I think there's literally on the board in the back a line. You guys are in the lower card, and this is the upper card. You know, there's like a line across the board separating it. But like another thing I've noticed is just there's always been a lot of BS on WCW shows, especially in this era. There's been a lot of unnecessary BS in this one that hasn't really affected the finish, hasn't changed anything. They just did it because they're in the habit of doing it. Like the false finish with the jackknife. And then the referee just gets back in and counts the pin anyway. The referee bump in that match where if he hadn't have taken that bump, the pin would have been counted at exactly the same time anyway. It's not like there was a big delay and it affected the match. It just seems like, no, we need something in the match. We can't just have a straight up wrestling match with a 3 count. You know, we need a referee to fall over or something.
Although saying that, like I do, I don't know, maybe it's just me having like a really short attention span, but like I do kind of prefer it that way. Like that finish, I had no issue with.
I only have no issue with it because it didn't affect the finish. I don't have a problem with ref bumps. I think there's a great, but what you do with that ref bump is you have ref bump. Lex Luger didn't take much of the spear, so he's got his wits about him. He pulls out brass knucks or something, hits Goldberg. Eventually, new ref comes down. Goldberg kicks out, spear jackhammer. It adds that extra level of drama to it. Whereas the ref bump didn't add anything, in my opinion. All it added was the referee falling over. It didn't actually add anything to Goldberg or Lex Luger's match.
Yeah, it was good for the spots. I guess he
the spot was fun, but they did nothing with it. Yeah, they did absolutely nothing with it. It wasn't necessary, and like I feel like you can do more with stuff like that jackknife false finish. They should have done something with that instead of just had the referee come back in and count the pin. like I'm not saying have the guy kick out. It's fine, but something should have come of that. Just anything. It gave the other guy on the team 3 more seconds to break up the pin or whatever. It just did something, but it did nothing.
He's taking off now. He's still wearing a belt.
Booker T's having a go here. Look at this. Was Nick Patrick gone by this point? I haven't noticed Nick Patrick refereeing any matches.
Well, I don't know, when did he go? Because he was in the Alliance story, but I don't know, did he go before or what?
Yeah, he was in the Alliance story, but I haven't seen him on either of these shows. I haven't noticed him anyway. And the one thing I would say is you notice Nick Patrick because they love ref bumps in 2000, and Nick Patrick takes the best ref bumps ever. Like, he's like a footballer trying to win a penalty. He, like, throws his arms up and dives. It's amazing. I absolutely love it. But I haven't noticed it, and I haven't noticed him either. And, like, I feel like I keep taking note of the ref, but there's nothing to comment, so I just don't mention them. But I would mention it if it was Nick Patrick, and I just don't think I've seen him in these last two shows. But like you say, he was back for the Alliance story, unless WWF signed him as, like, the face of WCW referee, and they were like, yeah, if we're gonna have a referee match, it needs to be Nick Patrick. And everyone knows we need a referee match at Invasion. We could do that. Do you want to continue the story through the Invasion angle? Just switch to WWF.
Wait, what's that? Nick Patrick?
Yeah, Nick Patrick. Like, did WWF just sign him or something? But I was just saying, do you want to, after we watch the final WCW pay-per-view, do you want to switch to WWF and just watch the Invasion?
Yeah, sure.
Because it'll be 20 years since the Invasion angle, so that's a good thing to cover.
Yeah, I've never seen any of that, so...
You've never seen... Oh, wow, okay. Are you in for
I think I
both Victory and Punishment at the same time?
I think I might have watched the Invasion, like, the pay-per-view once.
Yeah.
But I don't really remember much of what happens. I might have just put it on in the background once or something. I don't really remember.
Oh, brilliant. Well, you watching it blind will be a treat for me. I remember a lot of the key story beats of the Invasion, so some of the swerves and stuff won't catch me off guard at all, but I think it'll be fun to watch it with you not having seen it before.
The only real swerve I know about is the Austin one, like the really famous one that's like all over Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like a meme.
Yeah. I love that a guy looks like Scott Steiner and then shows off by doing 5 push-ups. It's like, mate, we know you can do 5 push-ups. Look at your arms. We are aware that you can do that. That you need to do at least 5,000 for me to start getting impressed, and I don't think you've got time.
That's awesome, but I don't know anyone else that does that.
Yeah, oh yeah, I love it, but it just always tickles me that that's how he shows off, by doing a thing that I could do, and I don't look like Scott Steiner. I just think it's great. It's not a criticism. I love everything about Scott Steiner. Don't get me wrong. I genuinely I think most people that love Scott Steiner sort of love him as a meme and love him ironically. I genuinely, unironically love Scott Steiner. I think he's like one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I watch wrestling for entertainment first and foremost, and there's not many people in history that have been more entertaining than Scott Steiner. Like, there's just not. Like, none of my favourite wrestlers are, like, the best wrestlers of all time. I'm an Austin guy, a Sting guy, a CM Punk guy, a Scott Steiner guy. Like, CM Punk or Austin is probably the best wrestler of those. And I don't love Austin for his wrestling era stuff. I love him for his Stone Cold stuff, when he used to just punch and kick a lot. So, like, I'm obviously an entertainment guy, really, when it boils down to it. I can appreciate good wrestling. I love watching New Japan. I just get into a different mindset watching that. But whenever someone says who's your favourite wrestlers, of all time at least, I never think of, like, anyone who's a proper wrestler. I'm always thinking of, like, who entertained me the most. Kurt Angle's probably the best wrestler, like, best actual pro wrestler that I actually really like. But I like him for his comedy and his character work when he's serious as well. I think he's a great entertainer, whether he's being serious or funny. But more so than because of how good he is in ring.
Wasn't Steiner, he was a very good wrestler, and then he bulked up, and then this became this?
I think he still is a good wrestler. He just changed his style up so much to suit the new character. I think he did basically. I mean, Stone Cold was forced into it by the neck injury, but I think he basically did what Stone Cold did. He created a new character and changed how he wrestled. Essentially, he did that. You occasionally see him bust out a Frankensteiner in, like, year 2000. He's still capable of it. That's the crazy thing.
You still see him bust that out in year 2020.
Yeah, that's true. But like, 2000 was probably when he was at his physical biggest, though. So like, he never outsized the Frankensteiner, which is quite incredible when you consider each of his biceps probably weighs what I weigh. Like at this point, it's just insane. But he just changed up his style. He's trying to be dislikable. I don't, failing because I love him, but but he's trying to be dislikable, so you can't be busting out like top rope moves and stuff all the time. It's a big mistake that like modern day heels make. Like, is they do a big fancy move and they get a massive pop from the crowd, and it's like, okay, right, so from this point on, your face turn just began. Like you've just ruined your heel run. Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah, it's. They need to go back to being, your Triple H's and your Randy Ortons are like your pure heels to me, where they're not trying to hype up a crowd. Their job is to kill the crowd in a way, because then the crowd get behind the babyface, and then the match ups tempo. Do you know what I mean? In a way, not literally kill the crowd, but you know what I mean. They're trying to take the crowd out of the action, not bring them into it.
But back here when the crowd were a bit more marky, do you think like if Steiner got on the mic and started cutting promos, you'd be like booing him madly?
Oh, I can't imagine it. Like, it's just, I feel like Scott Steiner gets the most silence for his promos because everyone genuinely wants to hear what the hell he's going to say. I feel like there's no one worth listening to that's more than Scott Steiner with a live microphone. It's like, okay, what's coming this time? Trying to win the match was a mistake. Tony Schiavone, year 2000.
Oh, do you win the match by pulling that down, or by not wearing it, I guess, but making the other person wear it? Or
so I feel like we've just seen pins get counted, so I don't think it was necessary. But the whole point of the match was to straitjacket your opponent, and then you can beat the hell out of them as much as you want. Which is another thing that bugs me, is when people try and win matches and it's not logical. But like, so here's an example, is when you get a really personal issue. It gets into a cage match, not this kind of cage with a roof, but a traditional WWE cage match.
Yeah.
And then within like a minute, the babyface is trying to climb out. It's like, no, you've been waiting for like a month to get your hands on this guy, and now you're trying to run away. Get on him and beat him in the face a bit. Like, what are you doing? Like, save those spots for near the end when it's like, oh god, this has been closer than I thought, I'd best get out of here. When it makes a bit more sense. I just don't try and win people that try and win a really personal match with a roll-up after 2.5 minutes. I'm like, what are you doing? Would you be satisfied if he actually stayed down for 3 there? No. So don't try it.
But what used to really irk me was when someone would try climbing out the cage when, like, there's a door.
When it's what?
There's a door there.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's like, just tell the referees to open it. I prefer the cage without a door, to be honest. Just drop it down once the wrestlers are in.
Oh yeah, like as long as it's like consistent, it's like over the top or like escaping out.
Yeah, I get it. It adds a different dimension to a match. It's the same as a ladder match or a table match. It's a prop to create a different kind of drama than a normal match has.
Mm. Oh, how like the TLC is sometimes pinfall and sometimes it's like a ladder match.
Yeah. Just depending on what they felt like that week, yeah. They do that all the time, though, WWE. Like, you get, like, triple threat tag matches, and 1 month it's, like, a member of each team in the ring, and they tag their own team. And then they do it, like, a couple of months later, and there's 2 legal men, and you can tag anyone. And it's like, it's the same damn match! Oh, so that's why the straitjacket was in, was so Scott Steiner could do that. Cool. Okay, I'm on board now with the stipulation. I'm on board. What can we do this month with Scott Steiner? Have him rip up a straitjacket. Okay, cool, sold. What next month? Suit of armor? Sure.
Well, he's got a new coat.
He's got a new ring jacket. They're always sleeveless.
He's like Houdini with muscles.
The commentary's not even as bad as people like to make out it was. Commentary's actually fairly entertaining on WCW in the server. Like, I think people sometimes take wrestling too seriously. You know when they complain about stuff like 2000 WCW? I'm like, I feel like you're watching it with the wrong glasses on. I feel like you need to be putting your silly entertainment glasses on, and you'll be thoroughly amused by most of it. Whereas if you're trying, yeah, if you're watching it expecting to see, you know, Omega Okada, you might not get it, you know. But that's not what you're watching. You're watching Scott Steiner rip the sleeves off a straitjacket. Like,
I think like the fact that people complain about it so much, that just makes me want to watch it more.
Yeah, and it makes me enjoy it more because I'm like, these people don't get it. Like, don't get what I enjoy about this. You know, like, don't understand that I'm not trolling them when I tell them I love this era in WCW history. Like, they don't understand that I'm being serious. I can't convince them that I'm being serious. The more I try to, the more they think I'm a troll. You know. And it doesn't help that every time I say it out loud, I'm laughing. But it's because that's what's making me love it. Is it's making me laugh. It's entertaining me. Like I say, even the commentary, Mark Madden, people like hate him as a commentator, but the more I rewatch it, the more I enjoy him.
How much do you think is because, like, you know, at the time wrestling was still kind of presented as being real and stuff, whereas like now like everyone who watches wrestling is so smart to it that like we know that Mark Madden is playing like this over the top character. Whereas like back then people were probably like, oh my god, that commentator's so annoying.
Yeah, I think we said this on the Halloween Havoc watch along, which again means people watching this won't have heard it because it never made it to air. But I understand why people who were watching at the time hated this. It's fun to watch it's fun to watch with hindsight, fun to watch 20 years later and be amused by. But imagine if this was the side you were rooting for, and they were pulling all this nonsense week in, week out. I understand why people were mad at it at the time, but now I don't get it. Oh my god, Scott Steiner just nearly knocked himself out. Booker's head hit Steiner in the jaw, like he almost jawbreakered himself. I love how the Steiner recliner just became an actual legit choke. Like, it used to be a camel clutch, but now it's just like, no, I think he actually is choking Booker T there. Like, choking him.
Wait, so he's a champion? He's a new champion?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, Scott Steiner, champion. Hell yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, cover the nipples. Looked like she was censoring him then. Yeah, the good era has begun. Scott Steiner's gonna have a run with the title. That just means more Scott Steiner on Nitro, which is a good thing.
Oh, his first time, right?
Yeah, first title, yeah. It's sort of a shame that after such a long journey there and reinventing himself so majorly and being so entertainment, that he won it as a heel and didn't get to like enjoy it with the fans. In a way, you know, like those really long journeys to the title, it's usually as a face they win it. You know, like they usually get the fans on side and, you know, and then they have a big celebration and a "you deserve it" chant and what have you. But like, no, he celebrates by beating Booker T in the knees with a chair.
He's much better as a heel though.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I just think it's a shame that he didn't get that moment because people forget because people sort of see him as Big Papa Pump.
He just
headshotted a referee with a chair. People forget that he was like he started wrestling in like 1985 or something. Like, you know, he's been around a hell of a long time.
Wait, this is so WCW. You see, they typed the date wrong. It says copyright 3000.
No, did it?
I'm gonna have to double check. I'm pretty sure
I'm going back 10 seconds. Well, 30 seconds. Let me try and get as close to that. Let me see the calendar.
I'm sure that's what it says.
I can believe it. I'd still be surprised that they managed to mess it up that badly, but at the same time, I kind of wouldn't. I'd be surprised, but I'm not the level of surprised that I would be if WWF did it, or WWE now. Like.
Oh, also, actually, it does look a bit.
I'm a minute further back than I thought I was. It's not come up yet. I was like, wait, where am I?
It's hard to say because it's like a little bit blurry, so it could be a 2, but it does look like a 3.
Do you know the crazy thing? He only started hitting Booker T in the knee with a chair with a minute to go, and then he managed to hit him about 12 times and take out about 6 refs in a minute. That's insane. There was like literally 1 minute remaining, and ref headshot. Sorry, I'm just reliving this. I thought I'd let you know where I'm up to. Yeah, no, that says 3,000. That 100% says 3,000. You can't sell that to me as a 2. You're right. Good spot. Good spot first time round. That's a 3. Yeah, wow, well done, WCW. Typo in the copyright information that pretty much invalidates it, I think. Means they don't own the copyright to that until the year 3000. So just anyone can reproduce that for the next, 980 years. I might try that. I might just put the full show on YouTube and then say, actually, WWE, you don't own that copyright yet because WCW messed it up.
Then now forever.
Yeah. You can have my YouTube revenue in 980 years. Set an alarm. Okay, right. That was not as much fun as Halloween Havoc, but it was still really fun. I still generally enjoyed watching that more than, as you said during the show, Survivor Series this year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
We'll save our in-depth thoughts for your review so people can go over and check that out. But I just wanted to get a quick one-line review in where I'm overall I enjoyed that show. It wasn't as good as Halloween Havoc. That's my one-line review of that show, basically.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that, I'd say.
Yeah. But what we're going to do now, we're going to cut things off. Thank you guys, anyone that watched that whole thing with us, I hope. Let us know in the comments what you thought, but also head over to Rhys's channel, RhysOnWrestling, it's in the description, and go and watch the review, because we'll talk in depth, as opposed to getting distracted by Jaffa Cakes and what have you. We'll actually talk about the content of the show and what we liked, what we didn't like, and all that sort of stuff in a bit more of a constructed way, in a bit of a more civilized manner, shall we say? Only slightly, but a little bit, and give you our sort of in-depth thoughts on the show, and you can join in the conversation over there in the comments as well. It'll be a lot of fun to see what people think. So leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and then get yourself over to Rhys's channel and subscribe over there. And leave a like on that video, comment. Support us both. We both enjoy doing this, so show us some love. Show us some love. But Rhys, thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. It's been a good laugh. We've had some fun.
Yeah, and to break the fourth wall, we've not recorded the review yet. It made sense to watch it first, I suppose. So people probably figured that. But I'm really looking forward to recording the review and seeing what ends up on your channel. So let's get this show on the road. As for everyone watching, thank you guys very much for watching. As always, I've been Ibeza. You've been amazing. He's been Rhys. And we will see you on his channel right now. Go.